peace. So, I mean, I'm the type of person, you got to show me one time who you really are, and I'm just not gonna fool with you. Plus, her past, with them trying to bring all these, I think it's up to 22 million illegal immigrants into the country. They're not going to need the black vote at that point. They bring all those illegal immigrants in. I mean, hell, we're still suffering from the Ellis Island immigration. So this is really going to bear us if we don't stop playing around.
Definitely, they definitely need to do a reform. They're gonna have to do something with have to do something in terms of the actual immigration crisis. Matter of fact, we got a space that we're gonna talk about some of that later this week. Hopefully, I'm gonna get a chance to get to it. I've been so busy, but definitely for you guys coming in here, retweet it out. For those coming in YouTube, share it as well. We're gonna be talking about Kamala Harris. Reparations. I got a number of people online that say she supports reparations, that she believes in it and everything else as well too. But then she she scoops back a little bit on when it comes to the reparation talk as well too. So I want to go ahead and get up in there because we see everybody right now, she's trending, she's a hot thing in politics. Everybody's talking about reparations and this and that or whatever. I mean, not reparations, but everybody's talking about her running for president and being the first this president, the first that president. And one thing I don't see many people talking about is what's her stance on reparations. Now, that's something as we get closer to the election time and everything else, you have to start having more people actually grilling her and asking her on that as well, too. I know it's a talking point to go ahead and kind of the Democrats like, well, let's not talk about this because it's going to piss off our other base. So let's try to minimize this as much as possible. But yeah, I want to go ahead and I want to talk about this. I want to have a discussion around what is it with her in terms of the reparations, because everybody, like I said, everybody's talking about, everything else. When it comes to her platform, it's about women's rights, it's about voting rights, it's about abortion. But, and it's always, of course, it's always about, they're trying to get rid of Social Security and Medicaid and all this other stuff. So I want to hear what they got to say as well, too. Shout out to you, Rob. I see you over there on YouTube. Shout out to you as well, fam, as well, too. Yeah, man, we gotta start seeing if people gonna actually ask us some hard questions or difficult questions, and that's really what they're gonna try to go ahead. And they've already framed the narrative right now is that, hey, you can't say this and you can't say that to her because you're attacking her being a woman and you're attacking her being black, quote unquote, a woman of color. So it's gonna take the actual grassroots to get out here and ask her some tough questions like, what's your stance on reparations for the descendants of those impacted by chattel slavery? Not everybody, because going back, and I'm gonna touch up on that article. Going back, she's talking about a lift act that's basically for everybody in the damn thing. Like, hey, everybody was a damn slave in this country. Everybody didn't have babies ripped out of their arms. Everybody wasn't picking cotton. Everybody, no, it's not no everybody here. Every time you talk about black people, it's always this everybody nonsense. So no, we gotta dig into it a little bit tonight. Go ahead, Ray.
I was gonna say this is not my quote. It is from Brother Marcel. I think it's very tied into what we're talking about. So he made a post and he said that Democrats had full control from 1961 to 1969, from 1977 to 1981, from 1993 to 1995. And from 2009 to 2013, they had ample opportunity to do something with reparations. They failed us, as so have the Republicans. But the black community overwhelmingly votes for Democrats, so they're the ones that get the smoke. And I 100% agree with that.
Hey, I mean, he's not lying either. I mean, he ain't lying, so he hitting it right on the head. I'm going to touch up on this article, and then I'm going to go ahead and mix in the other parts. This article, it's on the from the Newstoter.com platform. Let me put it up in the Jumbotron for y'all as well, too. For those on YouTube, you guys can catch this article in the Jumbotron, but I want to go a little bit deeper, because like I said, this article, it touches up on what she says about reparations, but it doesn't really go all the way there. It's not going all the way there how she really said, how she was really talking about it a few years ago. It says, it's titled, What Kamala Harris Has Said About Reparations for Black People. This is from our curation partner, the Neo Jim Crow. Vice President Kamala Harris has expressed support for reparations for Black people as her presidential campaign kicks off in earnest. Last Sunday, President Joe Biden jumped out of the race and endorsed Harris following weeks of inter-party fighting among Democrats on whether he should pass the torch after his poor performance in the first presidential debate against Donald Trump in June. Since then, talk has turned to what a potential Harris presidency might look like and what policies she might support. Asked about the issue of reparations by a Black publication, The Root, Harris threw her support behind the concept of measures aimed to atone for the United States legacy of slavery and discrimination against African Americans. I think there has to be some form of reparations, and we could discuss that, what it is. But look, we're looking at more than 200 years of slavery, she said. We're looking at almost 100 years of Jim Crow. We're looking at legalized segregation. In fact, segregation on so many levels that exist today based on race, and there has not been any kind of intervention done understanding the harm and damage that occurred to correct the course. And so we're seeing the effects of all these years play out still today. When pressed further, she agreed that if elected president, she would leave a conversation about reparations for Black people and what it would look like. Yeah, including things like what should we be doing to take things very seriously, undiagnosed and untreated trauma, she said. Newsweek contacted representatives for Harris by email outside of normal business hours to comment on this story. Harris has previously expressed support for a proposal to create a commission to study reparations. In 2019, she told NPR that funding Black people's mental health treatment could be a way to provide reparations for slavery. In 2018, she proposed a tax credit that would have provided financial relief to middle and low-income Black households. Since becoming the de facto Democratic candidate, commentators have offered their opinion on Harris' chances of winning this election. Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich said in Friday's column for Fox News that Harris could be a shockingly better presidential candidate than Republicans expect. According to the latest polling, Harris is slightly behind her Republican challenger Trump, although among Black voters surveyed in Michigan in June, 82.1% supported Harris, 11.5% backed independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and none supported Trump. So like I said, I wanted to go ahead and touch up on that. In this article, it's pretty much the same from 2019, but they left out some stuff that the 2019 article touched up on. And it really is kind of interesting to hear her actually say how she really felt, in terms of this actual reparation. So I want to go ahead and see if I can pull that up real quick. Give me 1 second. Ray, let me know. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So let me touch up on this. This is from 2019. It's the same thing with the Greer. It says, in a recent interview with the Greer at Power Rising 2019 in New Orleans, Senator Kamala Harris set for a wide-ranging discussion about her 2020 presidential run, policy agenda for Black America, and plan to beat Donald Trump in 2020. But it was a question about reparations for African Americans, which sparked an online backlash. Senator Harris made national headlines after she told the New York Times she supported reparations for Black Americans. When asked by the Greer to confirm her support and elaborate on implementing reparations, Senator Harris responded. And of course, I just said the thing, but we had over 200 years. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation. We have to recognize that everybody did not start off on equal footing in this country, and in particular, Black people have not. We have to do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty, she explained. A damn LIFT Act and impacting only 60% of Black families is not reparations. The LIFT Act is considered to be a wide sweeping tax plan and cash income program, which on average will provide an additional $500 monthly to working families and single people. It would not impact those who are working and earning income. Is the LIFT Act reparations? Asked the possibility of a race-based policy beyond the LIFT Act, Harris did not say that there would be one specifically. No, the LIFT Act will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners because the disparities are so significant. She said, any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's be really clear about that, she continued. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No, because whatever benefits Black family will benefit the community and society as a whole in the country, right? When asked if it was similar to the efforts to increase the number of women in the workforce, Senator Harris agreed. Everybody gets lifted, which is the same thing with women. You lift up the economic status of women, you lift up the economic status of the family, that neighborhood, that community, and society as a whole. That's exactly right. Same principle. And of course, like I said, this is back from 2014. This is the ADOS. They was talking about them in the same article. The backlash from the clip was instant and most pronounced from self-described members of ADOS, a growing movement of Black Americans who advocate for separate policy, agenda, reparations, for the descendants of slavery in the U.S. We will not go through what we went through with Obama, says attorney and writer Antonio Moore, who is a co-founder of ADOS. In a phone interview with the Greer, Moore and his ADOS co-founder, Yvette Carnell, a political writer and fellow Harvard University alum, reacted negatively to Senator Harris's plan. We're very critical of her position in regards to the Black agenda. The LIFT Act does very little, if anything, to fix or correct the ADOS substantial problem in regard to wealth. He continued, we're talking about how to make up wealth that was lost because the cost that we paid from the coming from chattel slaves and the cost of those chattel slaves paid, says Carnell, they didn't get any payment for anything, building the richest country in the world. Kamala Harris is talking about income, but she's not even talking about the income or race-specific ways. She continued. Some critics will call ADOS divisive. Okay, so like I say, that article that I touched up on, that I read from Newstoter, it has some of the stuff in there, but it didn't have the whole thing. That's why I want to go ahead and kind of touch up on this article right here so we can kind of get a little bit just to kind of jog everybody's memory exactly what she was talking about when it came to the actual to the whole reparation thing as well too. So I see we got a couple speakers requesting to come up here. Let me get the Cash. Let me get to Professor as well. What's up, Professor? I see you up here as well. So shout out to Professor. All right. Cash, did you want to speak? You got your hand up, you got it? Or you had what's going on, man?
Well, honestly, I'm just here to make sure that we can keep the numbers as high as possible for the reparations conversation. Also, I was raised in California, so I'm on Kamala's ad.
Okay, no problem. I saw you come up here because I was just reading it up. Read the article off Newstoter, and then I wanted to go ahead and touch up on this article back in 2019 when she was talking about this LIFT Act, and which is very, 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 very a bunch of garbage. I mean, you can't sit up here. First off, you're talking about reparations for Black people. It's not intended to lift every group up in the country. It's intended to lift one group up in the country. So the fact that she had to go ahead and say, well, this will lift everybody. Indirectly, it'll be beneficial for society. Indirectly, when Black people get, reparation money and they can, it's an infusion of cash into the system, and, people are spending and buying and everything else. Yeah, indirectly. But don't sit up here and say that you're gonna create something that's gonna go ahead and that's supposed to be specifically for Black people, and it's gonna also benefit each and every person as well too. So like I say, I want to see what everybody's gonna ask her, because I think this is a question right here that they're gonna do their best to try to steer clear. They're gonna try their best to tap dance around this whole reparation thing, because they've been told before by their handlers, hey, we can't talk about this. This is gonna piss our moderate white folks off in the Midwest and the South. Even the so-called quote unquote the most liberal of a lot of white folks don't want to hear nothing about no reparations. So they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna try to tap dance around this. They're gonna go ahead and try to say this and say that, but don't go ahead and just admit that we'll do this and kind of play along with them, string them along like we always do. But don't make any promises. Don't make any promises to him. We make a promise, and we got to go ahead and we got to find a way up out of that. So I think that's what the main thing is going to be right now, because like I say, just judging by that, as soon as she started talking about it, now she's talking about in that article, she said she's not going to do anything specifically for Black people. If she's going to do something for Black people, it has to be beneficial. Basically from what I got, if she's going to do something for Black people, it has to be beneficial for everybody in America. So there's nothing in particular that she can do for black people unless it's going to benefit everybody in America. If it's not going to benefit everybody in America, it can't be done for black people. She said that before with the no, and I believe she still feels that way. But let's see when the questioning comes. And if you start asking some of these, especially a lot of people in black media question her, they're going to go ahead and they're going to shoehorn these questions. They're going to make it nice and soft and give her a nice out to get up out of here. This is something that's taken over right here. You can't allow this woman to go ahead and just tap dance away from him. You got to go ahead and put that pressure on. You got to make her answer one way or another. What are you going to do? Do you support reparations? And if you do you support reparations for the people that's descendants of American chattel slavery? Do you support cash reparation payments on top of policy changes as well too? And then she's sitting up here talking, well, we got to find a way that we can put Native Americans and Latinos in there and the LGBTQ. And we got to see if we can find the children of the blind as well and the crippled and the lost. Then you know it's a bunch of BS. Then you know it's a bunch of BS straight up. Go ahead, Cash. You got it.
Yeah, so there's an article that I pinned in the chat, which is titled St. Paul to offer up to $110,000 in down payment assistance to Rondo descendants. And I mentioned this article because this is essentially a housing program that's not specifically for black people. Listen to how it works. Prospective St. Paul buyers that make up 80% of the annual median income or less, which is $62,000 for an individual or $90,000 for a family of four, can apply for up to $40,000 in forgivable loans towards a down payment on a house. First-time buyers in this group whose parents didn't own a home or who lost one due to foreclosure can get up to $50,000. Rondo descendants can get anywhere from $100,000 for purchase anywhere in the city. An extra $10,000 is available for those who buy within the neighborhood. So it's saying Rondo, it was a historic black neighborhood that was destroyed when I-94 was built through it. So they're essentially giving $110,000 to Rondo descendants. I'm not going to call it reparations since it includes other people in this housing program, but I am going to say it's lineage-based, and it will be repairing those who were harmed by the Rondo destruction, or at least a start to that. And the only reason that I bring this to the conversation is because, for one, that Kamala quote is very famous, that she's not going to do something specifically for us. I play chess, so I'm just trying to look at what is she going for? How can we still get our reparative justice within her framework or whatever? And they've mentioned that a guy named Tim Walz, W-A-L-Z, may be her vice presidential pick. If so, we should just understand this, and I'll pass Michael. So, Tim Walz, with just a one-seat majority in the state of Minnesota, the same state where they have this $100,000 program, $110,000, with just a one-seat majority. So he only has one Democrat extra. He's actually from the Democratic Farmers Labor Party. He passed universal school meals for the entire state, legalized weed for the entire state, a $1,300 tax rebate if anyone makes $150,000 or less, free college for anyone under $80,000 a year, free college, I said, automatic voter registration, 12 weeks paid sick leave, family leave. So I think he's making a run for president himself, but at this point, it's looking like this might be her VP pick. So we have to ask ourselves, do we consider this tangibles versus reparations that we're fighting for? Because he seems to be trying to get in the limelight. Thank you for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you, Cash. Anybody else that wants to come up here and speak as well, too, shout out to Professor. Professor's up in the house tonight as well. Professor, I forgot all about, I had the space title scheduled for the wrong night, so I had to go ahead and, when I saw you retweet it out, that's when they're like, oh, snap, it's for Wednesday. So shout out to Professor up in here as well, too. DJ probably didn't even know the space going on. My bad, DJ. If you get a chance, Professor, text him or whatever, let him know, see what's up. He may be doing something as well too. But go ahead, Ray. You got it. I want to hear what our people got to say with Kamala Harris as well too on the reparation tip. Or you guys, I mean, how are we going to push her to actually get it? It looks more than likely she's going to be the nominee for the Democrats. So you definitely got it. And I want to see what the black people up here that's championing her as well too, what they say about reparations as well too, because you got a lot of black people that's going to vote Democrat. Don't want you to bring this up because they say you're going to lose the election for her. Go ahead, Ray. You got it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to touch on, because you can't talk sense into people like that. I feel like I'm a very reasonable person, and you need to hear both sides instead of letting what you hear on social media or Fox News or ABC or whatever you listen to, let them feed you the information, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. People take quotes, like especially D.L. Hughley, take a quote and completely run with it, and then a lot of people just read the headline, and if they do that, they don't get the full context of what that person was saying, right or wrong. Something that you touched on in that first article, you said something very interesting to the point of she's willing just to have that discussion. And I want to thank, people like yourself that are putting on these spaces and the black media, because I wouldn't have opened my eyes to something like that, because that's such a minute thing that was said. But in the end, that's, I guess, all they're going to have is just a conversation we don't demand for. So, what I'm saying? Salute to y'all, man, for real. I appreciate you.
That's real talk. And it's a number of people, black media, and you guys also, just on social media, and everybody that votes in this country as well too. Everybody's putting the pressure on as well too. You got to go ahead, because as black people, we're expected to go ahead and to vote Democrat unconditionally, no matter what. No matter what you've been through, go ahead and vote Democrat. Not only are you supposed to vote Democrat, you're not supposed to ask for anything in return as well too. They say that's your civic duty to go and vote, and you don't ask for anything. Other groups can ask for other things as well. They can use their political power to go ahead and get these politicians to do their bidding. But black people, you should just be happy that you can go in there and cast a vote and not have to pay some kind of poll tax or take a test. And that should be it. You don't need anything in return. You weren't even meant to vote anyway. So hey, you're getting everything that you're supposed to get. Don't ask for anything. Just vote, be quiet, and leave and go home. And we'll take care of everything else. And the bad thing is you got a bunch of black people that believe this. A bunch of black people are scared. I already hear them talking as well. Y'all gonna mess things up there for that girl. You sitting up there talking about some reparations. Them white folk ain't gonna give you no reparations. Why y'all even talking about that? I'm like, damn. So we can't even bring it up. You got go ahead, Ray.
I'm laughing at you because you sound like a slave while you're doing it.
And that's how these Negroes act. You got tens of millions of people coming across the border every day or every year, coming across the border. When they get here, they get their foot in good, and they start making demands about what they want because they're on American soil and this and that or whatever. But you can't have black people that sit up here and say, you know what, for 60 some odd years, we've been your backbone. We've been your backbone. We supported you thick and thin. We deserve this. We deserve that. We deserve to hear our voice heard. People get upset about that. You get down here in Florida, Cubans, if they say something, they're going to get the ear of Republicans. People all over this country, if they say something, they're going to get the ear of the people they put in office. But black people, you can't get the ear of anybody. You're supposed to just sit up here and just take it and not want anything. Now, let me read one of the comments off of YouTube. I see Crimson Tide says, "No, this is a serious conversation, and no other candidate has ever said they're open to it." Crimson Tide also said, "Kamala is our best chance for reparations." What else she say? Crimson says, because she knows it will have to link to something else. That's the reality. If she's our best chance for reparations, and guess what? We're her best chance for her getting in the office as well, too. I mean, so it's equal. It's like, hey, first, if she's our best chance for reparations, she needs to come out and support it. She needs to come out and say, hey, I support it. I stand by it. You're right. I don't hear any candidate saying that, Republican or Democrat. So the person that's supposed to be black, they should definitely come out here and say it. Since everybody's telling us, hey, y'all stop shaming her about her heritage and her bloodline, and this is a black woman up here and this and that. We couldn't ask the other dude about it. We couldn't ask Obama. Obama was a black man up in the office as well too. You couldn't ask him or whatever because this and that, and then he didn't support it. So can we ask this one here? Or is she above reproach? She can't be asked either. Can anybody be asked? Can any person that's supposed to quote unquote be a melanin and quote unquote a black person as well to have black blood in there? Can we ask a question? Since y'all say that she's black, forget her Indian ancestry. She's a black woman. She's a sister girl. That's why I had put out an article the other day, and it was talking about from one of our curation partners, which I thought was just crazy as hell. But I said, well, let me tweet this out anyways. I said, I know people are going to be laughing and some people going to think that I personally wrote it, but which I did not, because y'all know we curate, we don't write. But it had an article telling that Kamala Harris basically was she was the realization of Public Enemy's album, A Fear of a Black Planet. And I'm sitting up and I'm like, really? This woman is the actual realization of that album, A Fear of a Black Planet? Like how? On what, and what kind of logic is that? How is she the actual realization of that actual album, Fear of a Black Planet? First off, nobody fears her. Secondly, the big question we have about everybody's having about is she black? Is she Indian? Is she both? Or this and that or whatever? So it's just it's crazy. It's nonsense. Ray, what's up? I see my girl Just Cakes up in here as well too. So shout out to Just Cakes. Shout out to our people up in here. 400. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead, Shannon. Y'all go ahead and tweet this out. I want to get some people to come up in here. I want to read some comments. I want to hear what you guys think. Because like I said, this thing is coming right around the corner here. The election will be here before you guys know it. You know, the actual mudslinging is just getting started. It's gonna be heavy. It's gonna be mudsling every direction that you can think of. And she's interested to do these debates and stuff like that. But is she interested to really hear what the actual what black people actually want? And I'm not talking about these boule. I'm talking about actual black people that get up here and vote and actually live lower income, working class, middle class lives and stuff like that. Is she really interested in hearing this, or is it does everything have to be sanitized? Her handlers have to feed her everything that she has to read from the jumbotron and all that, the teleprompter. I mean, what? I mean, we really need to know this, guys. It's coming up as well. Go ahead, Ray. You got it. And like I said, I want to hear what people got to say because I know a bunch of y'all. I've seen a bunch of the sisters with the post that, hey, I'm a Black American woman and I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. Like that's like almost becoming a damn like it ain't a hashtag, but it's becoming like it's definitely gaining steam on Twitter. But go ahead, Ray. You got it.
I was gonna say I was definitely seeing those posts too, man. So I forgot what I really wanted to touch on, really. So I might just drop down and come back up when I can think about it.
Okay, no problem. Professor, what's going on with you tonight, man?
Hey, bro, I've been sitting back, having a lot of discussions in the background with different people about Kamala. There's a lot of black people and you know, majority black females, but you know, it's some black men too, that are willing to go with this woman because they say, hey man, you know, despite what people might think about her race and her cosplaying, she basically got some black in her. Her dad is Jamaican. You know, this is what people believe. Her dad is Jamaican black. So that makes her somewhat black. So they willing to roll the punches with her because they just don't want to take a chance with the orange man, Trump. And the main thing that's being talked about in these black spaces, as I've been talking to people here in Alabama, is about this Project 2025. This is the main thing that black Americans here are discussing, that they don't want to vote for Trump because with this being out there, they talking about putting us back in slavery. That's what these folks are telling.
They say the same crap every election. Jesus.
Yeah, and this is what they're saying here, man. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not voting for Trump. Man, he trying to put us back in slavery. And I said, Lord have mercy. I said, look, man, when are y'all folks gonna ever learn the Democratic Party is not here to help us? They love to get our votes, but when it comes down to putting something down on tangibles, they're not there. They love to steal our votes. They love to get our votes, but they do nothing for us in the end. And they do it every time. Every time they get in, they'll turn a blind eye to us like we don't even exist. But yet they keep putting other people ahead of us. And I say, what you got to be worried about is how these immigrants are coming all up in here and getting money handed to them. They're getting put into free housing. They're getting cars. They're getting trucks. They're getting food. I mean, come on, man. How you gonna let people come up in here and jump ahead of the people that is the non-immigrant group, and that's us. We are non-immigrant, meaning we didn't come over here on our own, okay? And we are the group that have faced the most atrocities in this country than any other group, okay? Everybody else is coming over here getting what they want to get because they want to come over here, okay? We need to get ours. We have to get ours. And I'm not trying to sit here and go along with Kamala with this whole immigrant thing, because you know she's talking about giving them this whole clear path to come up in here with the DACA plan that she's been talking about. She is talking more about helping the immigrants. She's not talking about helping us. And let me say this, y'all. Anytime the Democratic Party will say anything about helping us, or somebody asks them about helping us, they always want to bring in other groups. I just don't want to deal with that anymore when it comes to the Democratic Party. I don't want to deal with Kamala and her BS and her cosplaying BS, because that's what it is. She's cosplaying everybody to get votes. And I wish people would understand what is really going on here. She's going to get in, and, you know, I just say hypothetically, she'll get in, and she won't do nothing for you. And see, black people, you stupid. You keep giving your votes away to people who are going to keep cosplaying you, or people that's going to keep doing the fuckery videos. Where they fuck dancing in videos, like what she just did. They just showed a video of her dancing with two other black men, and she couldn't dance. She don't have no kind of rhythm.
No rhythm.
Yeah, none. So that tells you right there. I mean, I'm sorry, you know, I ain't trying to be stereotype to the sisters. Most of the sisters that I grew around, they know how to dance. They know how to keep the party going if you're gonna really just dance, right? She didn't know how to do anything. She wasn't flowing. She was just. It's like she was trying to fit in. If you understand where I'm coming from, she was trying to fit in.
Hey, Professor.
Right?
Another thing
ahead,
I just want to add this in, since you talk about fitting in, and black people, we don't wash our greens in no damn bathtub either.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Now I didn't see my mama, my aunts, great aunts, grandma, sister, cousins. I didn't see them all prepared. I ain't prepared greens. I'm talking about for a house full of people as well too. I ain't never seen nobody tell you know what? Oh, let me go ahead and put the greens in the tub, child, and go ahead and wash these greens off. They will look at you like you finna put the greens where? In the bathtub. Man, she didn't even say like one of them little steel tubs that they have down south in the country or something like that. She talking about the damn bathtub. I'm like, oh Lord, like what is this chick talking about right here?
If I found out I ate some damn greens that you cleaned in the bathtub, it's gonna be a fucking fight. Oh, excuse me, it's gonna be a fight.
Crimson Tide is definitely upset over it. Crimson Tide said, you're all unserious talking about Kamala's dancing skills. The greens in the bathtub was a joke. Y'all are ridiculous. If it's a joke, then why did she say it? I mean, she's always saying some crazy stuff. She sat up there dancing. Nobody told her to get up there dancing. Anytime she comes out there, she had her albums showing her black albums and this and that. When a few years ago, she was talking about she graduated college in '86, talking about she was listening to Tupac when she was in college, when Tupac would have been probably a sophomore in high school at the time or something like that. So don't blame us for Kamala getting up here, putting her foot up in her mouth. And it seems like you're taking offense to that. She's the one that keeps sitting up here. Now, what she should do, the same way she pandering to the black people, she should do that to her Indian side as well, too. Whatever dish you make in India, go ahead and put that and say you're going to prepare that for everybody. Go up there and show the dancing and stuff like that. Show the albums of the Indian singers and stuff like that. Because it seems like now it's one thing. Y'all want to sit up here and you want to say, well, hey, you know what? She's black and this and that, so it's okay for her to pander to black people or whatever, but black people can't make a demand to her. They can't have a request to her or whatever, but it's okay for her to go ahead and play the whole black experience with us. I mean, please, come on. Let's not even go there, Crimson Tide. I know you're a Kamala Harris supporter. I'm going to be honest. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris, and I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Trump in the last election. I didn't vote for Biden in the last election, even though I did participate and vote. And I'm not going to vote for either one in this election as well either. I'm not voting for Kamala and I'm not voting for Donald Trump. If somebody wants to vote for them, more power to them. One thing I would say, this is right here. When this election come up, the only topics we're going to hear about from the Democrats is like I said before, abortion rights, voting rights, women rights. That's it. Now, the main issues that everybody in this country has been talking about, and of course they got the whole thing, the little scare thing again, they got out there about Trump. But the main thing people have been talking about is always, the economy is always going to be number one, unless you have war. So the economy is number one. Immigration is number two. And for black people, I would like to see reparations make that final three, you know. And the only way that you're going to go ahead and get this in there, because most black people that's voting Democrat don't care about the immigration thing. It's sad to say, but most of them don't care about the immigration. You care about the economy, and some may care about reparations. But I would like to see, you know, immigration, the economy, and reparations be three of the main talking points that we talk about in this upcoming election. And I guarantee you, two of the three, they're going to do their best to try to steer clear. The reparation, they're going to do all they can to tap dance from, and the immigration, they're going to go ahead and point to the successes they had lately in terms of trying to stop some of the bleeding at the actual border, which, you know, they, for the most part, they went ahead and let people have a free run over here. But now they're going to say, well, you know what? Because it got crunch time and people started really getting upset, and they started polling, people started telling, hey, this immigration thing is getting out of hand. So the Democrats had to go ahead and react as well too. They had to do something to go ahead and kind of stop the bleeding on that issue. Let me go ahead, Ray, you got it.
No, I was just going to touch on what the guy Crimson Tide was saying about it being a joke. Jokes are supposed to have a punchline. There's nothing funny about what she's been saying. You know, all this cosplaying, what you've elaborated on, you know, very eloquently. You know, just other stuff like, you know, her taking calls with Taraji P. Henson, talking about, well, you know, they not like us. You know, cosplaying off of, obviously, Kendrick. I remember when Black Panther was out, you know, it was Wakanda for Kamala for Wakanda and all sort of stuff. They always cosplay. I mean, at some point it's gonna run out. But I was gonna say this. This is what I couldn't think of earlier about. I think honestly, it's certain black people that, like you said, they're just gonna vote blue no matter who, and they don't want you to tell them the truth because in their mind, I feel like they just want to do the cooning anyway. I think that's honestly what it is. They don't want to give you. They don't want to think about what's really going on. They don't want to look at, you know, what's going on all around us, because, you know, anyone, I think, with common sense will look around and you see all these people coming in, and you see how much, you know, I feel like the economy was better under Trump. I can just be honest with you. I do. The gas was, you know, a little bit cheaper. I feel like food was more reasonable, you know, back then. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's just what I'm feeling right now. And I don't think I would call myself Republican. I just feel like I'm getting very anti-Democrat at this point.
Real talk. And I got I see Crimson Tide is still over there, and she's on Crimson Tide. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but definitely defending Kamala. You're right. I'm sure Kamala Harris knows how to make greens better than most people, mama, up in this space right here. I'm sure Kamala Harris knows all about soul food and greens and all of the Black American culture and stuff like that as well too. You know, yeah, she's always joking. So read the Newsweek article. She's quoted saying, "It just want to stay mad." We did read the Newsweek article. Matter of fact, the curation came. It was one of the curation partners curated from Newsweek. So we read the article and we read the old one back from 2019. Now, if you just want to sit up here and say you're gonna vote for it, but don't sit up here and get upset with everybody else, because I mean, we have a group of Black people that say you should make any kind of demands, and that's what it is. And that's what you're upset about, Crimson. You don't think that anything should be asked of Kamala Harris or the Democrats. And sitting up here, people say we're not voting for Trump because, well, I'm not voting for either one of them, to be honest. I mean, I don't have no love for Trump either. And I don't have any love for a party for the past 60-some years that's been taking our votes and telling us to kiss their ass. Now, maybe you do. Maybe you say, well, you know, it'll be worse if you go to the other side. But my thing is, hey, it can't be much better. I mean, I don't know how much more black people can continue to give to the Democratic Party and not get anything in return. But like I say, it's to the point that you can't even, you got other black people. And that's the thing. Like, you got other black people that don't even want you to question it. They say, hey, don't question the method. Just go ahead with the flow. So, hey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. You got it, Ray.
I was just gonna say, like you were saying earlier, man. Some people, it does not matter what they do or don't do, as long as they can turn on their TV and see a face that looks like them. Some people are happy about that. I mean, I saw a trend on social media. It was stroll to the polls. So I guess they're trying to organize people to go to the poll. And my question is, for what? I bring that up. I always ask that question, and I never really get a good response. I've never had a good response to, okay, what are we going to get out of it? You want me to take off work, lose money, go stand in line for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, or however long it is, just to press a button and vote. But what am I going to get at the end of the day? You know, because I can clearly see what other people are getting, the illegal immigrants, the LGBT, you know, the people that are against guns, like, because Kamala's already pushing for, you know, let's ban this gun and that gun, and, you know, my stance on that. So at the end of the day, if you can't show me what I'm going to get, I'm not going to waste my time, and I'm not going to be shamed into going there, wasting my time for nothing, just to vote for someone that, and I'm using air quotes, looks like me. I'm just not going to do it.
Nor should you. I mean, like I said, there's got to be some kind of exchange right here, and right now we're not getting that. So I don't know exactly what, you know. Like I said, we got a bunch of black people that feel like, hey, we've made it. We as good as we gonna get or whatever, and they have that mindset or whatever. But I don't have that. You know, that's what you want to do. I'm not gonna keep hitting my head up against the wall time and time again. And then when you say something, like I say, then you got black people that get upset about it more than white folks. Well, they'll first thing, and I can imagine that she got president, the first thing they'll say is that she's everybody's president. Oh, she can't just do that. She everybody president. Leandro, Leandro, you said it right. And I know Crimson Tide, you were saying that did she not say she supported reparations? Yeah, she said she supported reparations. Then she came up with some kind of lift program act that she said which would be beneficial for everybody, not for just black people, but for everybody. And if it's something that's supposed to be for everybody, it's not reparations. Okay, it's not reparations. When the Japanese Americans got something, black people didn't get anything. It was for Japanese Americans that were during the World War II era. It wasn't for everybody. When Native Americans get their casinos, it's not for everybody. When Jewish people get something, it's not for everybody. When the Italians that were getting lynched in the late 1800s, it wasn't for everybody. So it's funny how somebody can sit up here when they're asking you exclusively something about reparations that you know now. You gave us a whole history. Oh, well, black people went through 200 years of slavery and 100 years of Jim Crow. And then, okay, you're admitting that, hey, we know that black people didn't start off on equal footing. You said that. Then you kind of go ahead and you do what they always do. You kind of slide it back some. You say, okay, well, this program will help the black and middle. This will help 60%. No, reparations ain't supposed to help 60% or 50% or 70% or 80%. Reparations is supposed to help 100% of all black people who are descendants of chattel slavery in this country. I don't give a damn if you got Oprah Winfrey money. If you're a descendant of chattel slavery, your family was a descendant of chattel slavery, you deserve reparations. Flat out. I don't care how much, I don't care whatever. So don't sit here and say, well, and if you're going to talk about, well, we're going to do something for black people, but it's going to benefit Latinos and it's going to benefit this group and that group and every other group, then you're not talking about reparations. I don't want to hear about no damn housing program. I don't hear about no food voucher. I don't want to hear about some kind of a shoe rack or whatever you're talking about. That's not reparations. We know what reparations is. And everybody that got reparations in this country, at any time, they always got something with cash in it. It wasn't just some policy or just some land. It was always cash involved in it as well, too. But when it comes to black people, she said something about, we can do something for mental health and this and that. That's all good and fine. I have no issue with you adding that into it. But it's not straight up. It's not reparations. You're not going to sit up here and tell, well, I'm going to make sure that all black people have mental health and this and that and healthcare. And no, that's not reparations. You can add that to the policy that go along with it, but that's not reparations. First and foremost, cash needs to be offered up. and after cash, land. I don't care what anybody says. I know you got a lot of people say, well, I don't need, we can take our money. Why take your money when these people have stole millions of acres of land from people in this country, black people in particular? Every person in this space has a family member on one side of their family that has some property, and these white folks came in either the late 1800s, early 1900s, and took the damn property. So don't sit up here and say that, hey, you know, we've lost over 1,000 acres in my family. So don't sit up here and say, well, you know what, we're going to give you reparations and y'all need to go out there and buy. No, you need to go ahead and give back that damn land that you took and you swindled people for. Go ahead and give that damn land back. I don't give a damn how much that land is worth now. You need to give that back on top of the cash payments as well, too. JG, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing cool, man. I'm just listening to you chop it up. So I wanted.
JG, are you on a headset? Because you were very low.
How about now? I was moved away from the phone.
Yeah, much better.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay. No. I was listening to you, and I read the article the other day. I think it was just last night I read it, as far as what she said, and I agree with everything you just said. And I guess my more of a question for you, because I'm not disagreeing at all, is do you believe or feel that with her being on the ticket like this, Trump will have to answer the same question, and his response, would you think it'll be similar? I mean, because I'm seeing like don't nobody want to do nothing just specifically for black people, which is unfortunate. I've said that my wish would be that at least just fund the damn Freedmen Affairs Agency in California, right? Put the money in there because that's specifically for black folks that are descendants of slaves, and lead the nation right. That would be my ask, because all this stuff about doing something for everybody else, it ain't cool. I know why they do it though, because of the anti-black hate. But what's your thought about this question just being asked to both of these candidates that need to come to the table and have a conversation about repairing America?
Oh, I think the question should be asked to both of them. Of course, we know the Republicans feel like, well, hey, we don't need black people to get elected. So we already know what their stance is going to be. The thing, like I say, the thing is with the Democrats are supposed to be let all these black people tell it. They're supposed to be our long lost white cousins, our bosom buddies, our best friends. So they shouldn't have any issue, like I say, with the relationship that they have built with us, quote unquote, for the past 60 years. How many people have black people put in office that were Democrats, black and white, Latino as well too. So they're the ones that need to really answer that question, because I expect the Republicans to do what they always do. Trump was kind of slick. Trump tried to be slick with his what was it, the platinum plan he came up with. But even when you start reading that started, you saw how quick it started unraveling to talk about people of color and the minorities and all that other stuff. Like, it just couldn't stay focused on black people. And that's the issue right there. And the Democrats do the same thing as well, too. They'll sit up here and talk about what they're going to do for black people. Next thing you know, they've thrown in people of color and undeserved communities and all this other nonsense as well, too. When they, out of anybody in this country, should have a real appreciation of black people. I mean, almost 90% of the black people that vote Democrat. I mean, how much more loyal? There's not another race or group in this country that have those kind of numbers. So, I mean, the simple fact, and that's the thing too, JG, that gets me when I hear a lot of black people talk, well, y'all don't ask the Republicans, y'all don't treat the Republicans like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Black people, really, we talk about since the 60s. Let's be real here. You got to go back to really Roosevelt. Black people been voting predominantly Democrat really since the late 30s or 40s. So to sit up here and act like, well, this is just even the past 50 or 60 years. No, black people have been giving their undying, unwavering support to the Democratic Party for a long, long time. And when they ask to collect on gold, people get upset. They get mad. You got black people. I assume they black because I can't see. You got black people right over there on YouTube sitting up here, and they sitting up here caping for Democrats right now. Democrats and Republicans are no different, in my opinion. Except one is a Democrat and one is a Republican. I don't have any love for either one of these parties at the end of the day. And when I hear black people sitting up here, and I've even seen the way they went ahead and they've remade Joe Biden about what a great man he was and how much he did for the black community. I've seen some of these black-owned newspapers and stuff, some of the articles they wrote out and talk about his long history of how he supported black people and this and that or whatever. And I'm just sitting up here like, wow, like, are you serious? Are you serious? Because he was a vice president under Obama. That's how he supported black people. Like, this man's policies was just as anti-black as they could be. And we want to sit up here and with one stroke of the paint, we just go ahead and we give him a whole nother image and whatnot, because black people feel like they have to live vicariously through other people. And getting Kamala Harris in the office, they're going to sit up here and talk about how this is a big win for little black girls and black women. And now you see that you can also be in the White House and this and that or whatever. So we, out of any other group, we have to live through those that actually make it as well too. So, hey, if that's what you, like I say, if you want to vote for Kamala Harris, fine. If you want to vote for Donald Trump, fine. If you want to vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., fine. Like I say, until I hear somebody specifically say what they're going to do, I will take part in the actual process. But when it comes to the actual presidential, when it's time to fill in that ballot, I'm leaving it blank, or I'm just filling in a name. And it could be the bum off the street. I'm not picking either one of them. So, do to each his own. But just to get back what you were saying, JG, I would ask both of them. I would put Donald Trump right on the spot and ask him exactly what makes you what makes you a better candidate for black people than Kamala Harris. What are you going to do? Because you sit up here and you say the Democrats haven't done anything. So what are the Republicans going to do for black people, and only black people, not people of color, not this, not that, but black people? And that's how, see, they won't. That's how you have to ask these people, where there is no wiggle room. What are you going to do for black people, for black America? And only black America. What for everything that black America has done for this country, and they've never received their proper due. What are you going to do? Tell us exactly. In your platinum plan, it started off, and you pull this card too. In your platinum plan, it started off black this, black that, black that, and it quickly started going to all other stuff. It started going to minorities. We don't want to hear something about minorities, because when you put them on the spot, you like when you talk to the Asian group, when you talk to the LGBTQ, when you talk to Latinos, y'all don't bring up what you're going to do for black people when you're addressing them. Specifically, whatever problem they got, you talk to them and them only about what you're going to do for them. So what are you going to do for us without including us and minimizing everything that we got? Because check it. It got minimized in the civil rights movement. What was supposed to be solely for us got minimized. We had to include handicap. We had to include minorities. We had to include white women. All of this other stuff that it was not even meant to be. And these same ingrates sit up here running their mouth talking about black people.
Well, Newstoter, can I ask you this and see if you agree? I believe this. Joe Biden made a promise to black America that he never delivered on. And he ain't got shit to lose right now because he's not running. I just feel that black people as a whole, in the descendant class, honestly, Joe Biden would have to do something for the Democratic Party to remain any type of relationship with black America, period. Because he's in a position to do it. And let the next president come in and rescind that executive order. That's just kind of how I feel. I'm not looking at voting for nobody until I see what's going to be done for. And right now, I'm just not seeing it except for more talk, unless something miraculous happens. But I don't know. I just feel like we should really hold Joe Biden and the Democratic Party to their feet, because just like we talk about reparations is paid for by the government, and the government never went away, right? Same government. I don't care if the parties flipped or flopped. I don't give a damn. It was the Democrats that did it. So these people that are politicians calling themselves Democrats are responsible and need to go ahead and make it right. And if they don't, then all black Americans should be walking away from the damn party, period.
Real talk. Now he could do an executive order, but when the next president comes in there, could you imagine? Let's say Joe Biden did an executive order right now, and as he's getting ready to go out, and let's say Trump wins. Well, from the moment Trump wins, that's gonna be what his base is talking about. Get rid of that Joe Biden executive order. Get rid of Joe Biden executive order. That would be the mantra that you be hearing all across the country. Get rid of that damn executive order. I would definitely prefer it to go ahead and get passed through Congress, even though I know the numbers and stuff right now. It would be hard, but could you imagine it, that's all you would hear if he went ahead and he signed an executive order? How long, JG, do you think that executive order would stay in place? Let's say that, like I said, just a scenario that I'm coming up with. Let's say that Joe Biden signs an executive order before he leaves office. Donald Trump wins. How long do you think that executive order that he put an executive order for reparations? How long do you think that would stay in place?
I don't think. See, I mean, looking at who Donald Trump is, I don't think Donald Trump would rescind it. I really don't. I don't. I mean, people paint Donald Trump out to be a racist and everything else. I think his party predominantly is that way. But as far as him coming in and rescinding something that was to make right, and so let me give you an example. I know that all the damn federal post offices pay buku money for the land that they reside on, right? You take that damn federal money and you put it into a fund for reparations. You're not disturbing anything. Taxpayer, it's not your money. So there's some things that Joe Biden can do, even if it was not to say we're going to study. I don't want to see HR 40 in California didn't do exactly right, but there is a report from California where, okay, this is how we can actually pay it. He can do an executive order that says, hey, we're going to look at some ways of how we're going to pay this damn debt. Because last time I remember Joe Biden sat on TV with somebody, asked him, show him how to pay it, and he would do it. Well, I mean,
you don't think Trump with that MAGA base that'll be screaming to the pitch of their voices, you don't think that he would come in there and rescind it? I don't know, JG. I'm gonna have to disagree. Just personally, I think that it would be such a scream from these rednecks and these trailer parks in mid-America and the South, and even in the most liberal places as well too, because they would act like these liberals, these outgoing liberals and stuff are so race neutral. I think that they would have such a fever pitch that they would go ahead and they would have to do it. Also, you got to think about this right here too. A lot of them look at their actual parties and they look at the voting block right now and they know, be it Democrat, I don't care what poll you take. If you take a poll of white Democrats or white Republicans, the vast majority of them against reparations. So they look at it like this is too, like, well, by doing this or whatever, it may hurt our future elections. So they think about that as well too. They think about down the road. They think about, hey, the election 2 years from now, 4 years from now, 8 years from now. They think about all of that stuff as well too. What's going to happen to the people and the Senate and Congress and local elections and stuff like that. So they think about all of that stuff as well too. How is it going to have a blowback on them as well too? So I believe that they look at all of this when they go ahead and they put these decisions into place as well. Go ahead, Ray. You got it.
My bad. I was going to ask you, you see that Joe Biden just talked about on social media actually expanding civil rights, and I can only assume he's talking about, illegal immigrants. So I just wanted to point that out. Also, Megan Thee Stallion, from what I'm seeing, is the next person that's basically came out and I'm guessing, is endorsing Harris. She's going to be doing a concert for her in Atlanta, because you know how that is. Black people love Megan Thee Stallion. They all come out, at some point they're going to start talking about politics, during that concert. I just wanted to point that out. Oh, sorry, last thing. There's a young rapper. I'm sorry, I'm a little older now. I don't know, what group he's in. I think his name is Sway Lee. I don't know what group he's in. He actually made a post, I think it was a day or two ago, when he was saying to do your homework on Kamala Harris before you vote on her. And they absolutely tore into this young man, because they understand from what, this is how I'm thinking. They understand that with him being so young and having the influence that he has, he could obviously affect, people that, we're just going to blindly vote. And then tell them, hey, do your homework, look at her policies. And I really believe if people actually look at her policies and what she's going to do or not going to do, that could definitely, be something that sways the vote.
Real talk. I don't really when you have these entertainers and athletes, I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat, I really don't pay them any attention when they say they're going to endorse this person or whatever. I mean, that's fine. Endorse who you want to endorse, but for the most part, I think most people already have an idea, a general idea who they're going to vote for in this upcoming election. I don't think that they try to make what people like, well, I'm still kind of on the fence. No, I think 90% of people their minds are already made up, unless something just dramatically changes or whatever. I think most people pretty much already know who they're gonna vote for in this upcoming election, and we know most of the time when we're talking about black people, we know most black people are gonna vote Democrat. So therefore, most of the entertainers are gonna go on the Democrat route as well too. And when you're talking about some of these conservatives and stuff, you're gonna see a lot of white conservative stars come out and say, you know what, I'm gonna go for Trump and this and that or whatever. So it really doesn't surprise me in the least bit. I would expect Megan Thee Stallion. I would expect 90% of the rappers. You may have somebody like Lil Wayne and Kodak Black and them that may go ahead and vote for say they endorse Donald Trump. But the vast majority of the actual these entertainers, especially black entertainers, they're going to come out, they're going to endorse the Democratic Party. And, that's not surprising. We pretty much have always seen that at most of our lifetimes anyway. So, I mean, that's not really surprising. I would, if she came out and said, you know what, I'm going to endorse Donald Trump, then I would be surprised. Like, what? She said she's going to endorse Donald Trump. So, yeah, that would be kind of shocking right there. But, no, I mean, that's no surprise to me whatsoever. Pretty much expected. We got a new speaker up here. Is it Haru? Akahu? I'm sorry. Akaru?
Yeah.
Okay. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, brother. Thank you for letting me speak in space. So I just want to say that about Kamala Harris, for sure. If I feel like for me personally, I'm not going to tell any other black people whatever what to do, but for me being that I support reparations and all that, I'm definitely voting for Kamala Harris because she's the only person out of the two that have actually spoken on reparations. Donald Trump hasn't spoken on reparations. She's actually spoken on what she would do. She actually laid out a plan about what she would do regarding Freeman's Bank and reparations. So, I mean, I think that it's not in concrete, it's not in stone, because back when she started doing this, she was still the vice president, so she didn't have the pen, so she couldn't really make anything happen. So, but I mean, now that if we give her the pen, then she can make some things happen, or make things more visible, so that, because I mean, really, what we want in reparations is we want it to be more visible, because we want more people to agree on the fact that we deserve, to be given what is owed to us, rather than not being given what's owed to us. And I think that having it visible is a good start. So I think the fact that she's making it so visible, she has already made it so visible. So
now, the only thing that I saw was that article back from Newsweek and back in 2019. Now, exactly what paperwork are you talking about? Because I hadn't seen her say anything about a Freeman's Bank. Can you post that so we can see that? Because we haven't seen anything concrete that she talked about doing. She did talk about the LIFT Act that would go ahead and benefit everybody.
Yeah, I can definitely post it. I don't know how to post it on the Jumbotron though.
Okay, or you can put it in the purple comment section as well too. The only thing I heard her talking about was that LIFT Act that would benefit. I haven't heard her say anything in terms of cash payments. I heard her say something.
Yeah, she started talking about that.
Well, yeah.
I will post it.
Yeah, please post that, because we haven't seen it. I don't see any articles of it or anything like that as well. So I definitely want to see that, because and that famous, well, you think I'm gonna do something for black people only? No, that's when she was talking about the reparations back when she was running for president, and she was saying, hey, I'm not gonna do anything. And even her reparation talk then was a LIFT program that would help everybody, and by helping everybody, it's beneficial to everybody. So I have never heard her come with any steps and any plans in particular that she's going to address for reparations for black people exclusively. So I definitely, you get a chance, definitely put that in the comment section.
I posted it.
Okay, and you guys get a chance.
As far as her doing something specifically for black people, she did say that she wasn't going to do anything specifically for Black people, but she also accompanied that phrase with, but she was going to do something that benefited everybody. Basically, if it benefits Black people, then it's going to benefit society as a whole.
But so that's kind of impossible, though, isn't it? Because reparations, let's be for real, reparations are for the descendants of chattel slavery. So if you're not going to do anything that's going to benefit Black people, then you're not going to get reparations.
I'm pretty sure that she meant that she's not going to do anything that's not going to benefit everybody else. If it's going to benefit Black people, it's going to benefit everybody else, and that's what she was saying.
But that's where we're kind of I guess we're kind of in a deadlock at, because she said that you think I'm going to do something that only benefits Black people. That's what she said. Do you think I'm going to do something that only benefits Black people? No. Now here's the thing: if you're going to do reparations and you're going to sign that into law, then that is going to benefit only Black people. Now it'll benefit the economy indirectly.
Yes, and that's what she meant, and that's exactly what she that's exactly what she meant. I think because if you
that is not what she meant. That's not what she meant. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because she already spoke at the Freedom Bank.
Hold on, Professor. Hold on, Professor. Hold on. Go ahead.
She already spoke at the Freedmen's Bank Forum, and she talked with Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, about who. I mean, you again. I posted the minutes, so the minutes are posted. If you want to read the minutes, or you can watch the video. It's on YouTube on the White House website on YouTube, where she speaks about a part of reparations, which is reparations has to come in multiple parts. It's not just going to be a check that you get in the mail. I mean, I know some people just want a check, but that's not really that's not beneficial for everyone.
No, but that's the most important part, because everybody who did get reparations got a check. They got financial.
Absolutely,
yeah.
The most important part. A bank is the most important part, because if you don't have a bank, then where are you going to put the check? You're going to put. Well, let's be honest. We got some Black-owned banks right now and credit unions as well too. The most important thing, just like I said, with the actual Japanese Americans, they got money. The Native Americans and their casinos, money. The Jewish community, money. The Italians that was lynched in the late 1800s, money. So yeah, it is that when we think about reparations, it is money first and foremost. Well, she talked about capital. I mean, that's what her whole speech was about.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Capital is definitely not.
Give me 1 second. I got you, Just Cakes. Go ahead, accrue, and I'm gonna get to the next speaker.
Okay, I'm gonna land right here. For me, if you send me a check, I would rather have a bank to put that check in. I would rather put that a check in a bank that's gonna accumulate some sort of wealth. So I'm not just gonna put my check right back into Bank of America. That's pointless to me.
Well, give me my money. My family, they suffered, they toiled in this land. Give me my money, and we'll find a place. We'll find something to do with that bread. But thank you. Let me go ahead and get the Just Cakes. Just Cakes, go ahead and unmute your mic.
So just real quick, the one thing about these people that's so for the Democrats, Kamala and Biden and all of them, if you got to argue in bad faith, they got to tell you something, right? Because this guy that just literally just got the mic, he's sitting there she said something about the Freedmen's Bank. And I don't know if you guys remember that back in October 2022, what she did is she started off like they usually do, talking about the atrocities that Black people face. And she started off by saying what happened to the Freedmen's Bank and stuff like that. And then she went into Black and Latinos. Then she went straight into immigration and immigrants. So what she did was she opened up the Freedmen's Bank to pretty much everybody, anybody. And that's what it was a real big uproar about it. So when you argue in bad faith, that's how you know you're on the wrong side, first and foremost. That's the one. Then, too, I don't know if you have to remember, I mean, it wasn't that far ago when the quote-unquote Black leaders was begging Joe Biden for a meeting. Begging. And it was pretty much F-U, N-word, pretty much the energy he gave them. And Now here it is, we in an election year trying to get reelected and stuff like that. And you got Al Sharpton posting pictures from Air Force One. So it's just like they know what time it is. These two know what time it is. When you arguing bareface and when you sit there, you know you being used and you just want to pat on the head. It's just we set ourselves up for our own demise. That Akira guy is pretty much a shield that's masquerading as somebody who's deep. And I'll land it there. Thank you.
I would like to speak. I'm new to this, so I don't even know how to raise my hand, but this is me trying to raise my hand.
Okay, give me 1 second, Tracy, real quick, and I'm gonna get to you because we got another speaker ahead of you, Kyrie, and then we'll get right to you as well too. Thank you, Jess Cakes. I got you, Tracy, coming up after the next speaker. Carrie, go ahead and unmute your mic. Yeah. No, not you, not you, not you. Let me get to Kyrie. Kyrie. Go ahead, Kyrie. My bad.
Basically, I don't know what he's saying. You know, I seen him on another space spilling the same tea, talking about the Freedmen's Bank and how, but he forgot to mention that she was talking about every other minority, nothing specifically for us, using our bank for other minorities. And also, I did read an article this morning about her speaking in Houston and, you know, talking about if I get elected, reparations may be something that I'm going to pursue. But I don't believe her. And y'all guys shouldn't either. I think I have posted it somewhere, but I'll post it on the Jumbotron. But yeah, I think she was speaking at some sort of event for Sheila Jackson Lee. As we know, I think she's going to be buried tomorrow or whatever. But basically, she was asked those questions, and she said if I get elected, I'll see what I can do. That's not enough for me. And I'm pretty sure that's not enough for everybody else in this room to be, you know, head over heels for Kamala. I'm just saying, be warned, you know, keep your senses up and always use your long-term memory. Because in the past 4 years that they've been in office, we've gotten nothing, and every other minority got something except for us. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Kyrie. Kyrie, let me go ahead and get to Tracy. Tracy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey there, thanks for having me. I can't tell you when the interview happened. However, parents have.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Kyrie, you got to mute your mic. Kyrie, you got your mic muted?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Tracy.
In the interview, the interviewer asks Kamala basically what she's going to do for Black people. And Kamala has a white shirt on with a beige suit, and she leans forward and she goes, "Let me make this very clear. Anything that I do for the American people will benefit Black people. But ultimately, every time somebody gets in office and does something for America, ultimately Black people never benefit. Because if we are not leading with Blackness first, we are always going to be at the bottom of the barrel. She's not going to do anything except point out talking points and then talk in circles with these half-ass metaphors that she so loves. And that's all we're going to get from Kamala Harris. That's why nobody voted for her 4 years ago. She didn't make it that far in the primaries, because the fact that ultimately everybody knew, it's going to be a no for us. And now we didn't even get a chance to vote her in this time around. She's just been forced on us. And we don't have a choice, because it's either Kamala, it's not Kamala or the other person, it's Kamala or Project 2025. That's really what the issue is. Because I mean, we've already seen what Trump can do in office. It's very clear what he's going to do. But we didn't have Project 2025 4 years ago. So now, if you're in a blue state or a purple state, it's one of those situations where you kind of have to bite the bullet, shut the fuck up, and vote for him.
Whoa, Tracy, don't drop any F-bombs in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm still new to this, so I apologize. But it's basically, they put her up there and said, suck it up, here you go. And for me as a black woman, if she was a black woman who represented black women, I'd be like, yep, hands down, just go on and vote for her. I don't even care. We gotta vote for her, no. But because the fact that she is very adamant about the fact that she does not lead as a black woman, and she is not going to lead black first in this country, there's no real value in voting for her other than just to avoid Project 2025.
All right. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate that. Real quick, for those that can support us on Cash App, we definitely need the help. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $Newstoter, Newstoter. Also, we have the Newstoter membership in the actual Jumbotron as well, too. For as little as $1.75 a month, you can support Newstoter. The link is in the actual Jumbotron on the far right-hand side. Go there. And you can go ahead and create a membership and support us for as little as $1.75 a month. For those that do not have Cash App or can't do the membership at this point in time, you can support us on PayPal, Venmo, also up in the Jumbotron. For those on YouTube, the customer membership link is on the actual screen. The actual Cash App is $Newstoter, $Newstoter, and the PayPal and Venmo is up in the description. Once again, $Newstoter, Newstoter. We need that support. Support Black media. Let me go ahead and get to we got a new speaker up here. Let me get to Mel, and then I'll get to the other two speakers as well too.
Hey, shout out to the room. Trusted news from a trusted source. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Thanks for letting me come up here. I just wanted to let Tracy know, and I guess let everybody else, there is an option. We don't have to vote Republican. We don't have to vote Democrat. We can run it up the middle, vote for Kennedy. At least he has items of concern for Black Americans on his platform. He has experience. I'm not saying, oh yeah, I'm a Kennedy fan. The main reason why I say run it up the middle and vote for Kennedy is because the Democrats and the Republicans expect us to give either one of them our vote. And if we strategize as a community, vote for Kennedy, and Kennedy wins, both the Democrats and the Republicans are going to be scratching their head and shaking their jackets, talking about what happened. This is now an opportunity for us to use our voice and be heard for real, for real. They are not expecting us to deviate between the two of them. So I just wanted to share that. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks a lot, Newstoter. Great space.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mel. Let me go ahead, Ray. I'm gonna get back to you. Let me get to Haru, and we'll get back to you then, Ray, as well. Tracy, I see you back up here. You must have dropped down, but we got you back up. If you want to, you want.
I had to take a quick phone call really quick. I'm sorry. Yeah, when I can go whenever the next person is. Okay,
let me get to Haru, and then we'll come back, and Ray, and we'll get back to you. But Haru, go ahead and unmute your mic. And matter of fact, up in the Jumbotron, y'all, I put the actual that article you put in there. If you guys get a chance about the Freedman Bank, because I did hear that same thing too. That the Freedman Bank, I remember a couple months ago, because our people had spaces on here. We had a lot of the Freedmen having spaces, and a lot of people felt like they started off talking about the Freedman Bank, and next thing we know, the Freedman Bank, which is supposed to be for Black people, was a lift. lift every voice and sing type thing as well too. It was talking about Hispanics and minorities and all this other stuff. So the Freedmen Bank should be for black people. But go ahead, Haru.
All right, I agree with you. I mean, I think that's what she stated in the forum, where she's done more than any other vice president or president for black people since the Freedmen's Bank was, destroyed or demolished.
So you're saying that she's basically the greatest vice president in history, is what you're telling us?
For black people, yeah, hell yeah, for sure. There's no comparison. Who are you going to compare her to? Who spoke with Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, about the Freedmen's Bank and providing capital to freedmen? Who spoke about that? Please tell me.
What?
If anybody knows.
Well, I mean, pretty much the reason that the Freedmen Bank and all this other stuff started getting talked about because the people in the grassroots started pushing it to the point that the politicians didn't have no choice but to talk about it.
Okay, but why is she the first one if she's not real good true to it? Why is she the first one?
I don't know. And
she's about that life. That's what I'm saying.
About what life? About what life is she about?
She's about cosplaying.
How is she cosplaying? I don't understand.
That woman has been pretending to be a black American ever since we started under Joe Biden, that campaign back in 2020. She's been lying to black Americans.
Let him finish, Professor. Let him finish because I want to hear what he's got to say. But go ahead.
All I was going to say is that she's done more for black people than any other vice president in the history of American history, and I would debate that with anybody.
Okay, well, you would hold on real quick. Somebody mute your mic, because I'm hearing that feedback. You would have to post all of the stuff that she's done for black people as compared to all the other stuff these other vice presidents did as well too. Because I'm just trying to figure out exactly.
Please tell me, what have they done? Who has done something for black people?
Okay, besides meeting and also she was the one sitting up here talking about Latinos and everybody else in the Freedmen Bank. Besides that, what are all these wins that she has for black people?
Okay, so I don't know if you know the history of the Freedmen's Bank, but the Freedmen's Bank had always allowed minorities to
No, the Freedmen Bank didn't always allow the Freedmen Bank didn't. So you're saying that it was mainly Latinos and Asians and all that when their numbers wasn't even that big?
Look into the charter. If you look into the charter of the bank, I mean, there were people depositing funds into the bank who were not just black people, who were not just free. That's just a fact.
Besides black people and white people, and most of the money that was black people, we could agree on that, right? Because when they got hit, they took the black people money.
But there was no discrimination. Is that what you're talking about? I mean, we're saying that she should come into the office.
No, what I'm saying, Haru, is what I'm saying. This right here, freedmen. When we talk about freedmen in this country, we're talking about black people. Okay, we're not talking about any other group because only one group in this country was slaves, not Latinos, not Hispanics, not Asians, not Arabs, not any of that. So when we talk about American freedmen, we're talking about black people, point blank.
Okay, so let me start here. You're not gonna get anything if you think that the black first talking points is going to help you get votes with all of America. That's just not going to work. I mean, you're talking about like a sort of separatist government, separatist sort of movement or something, which is not going to work with most white people with mainstream America. It's just not going to work. So yeah, she is center of left. She is center of most people who are just black first or black only. Obviously not just because she's half black, but because she actually knows politics. She actually knows civics, and you can't get anywhere just by saying, I'm a black supremacist. I'm going to do something only for black people. Like if I come out and
so when they do stuff, when they do stuff for other groups, when they do stuff for the Jewish community, when they do stuff for the LGBTQ community, when they do stuff for white women, when they do stuff for women, when they do stuff for all these other people, they're not being a supremacist. But when they do something for black people, a bank, let's also not forget that was laundered and the money was stolen from damn people that was no more than slaves, had just got out of slavery. We're sitting up here saying, well, you know what? This was actually supposed to be meant and controlled for black people, but it's unfair that we have something just for a bunch of Negroes, so we got to go ahead and throw everybody into it. So that's what you're telling me?
No, that's saying is, if it was running on the same platform as her, I would be saying the same thing. Why? Because she's the only. It doesn't matter that she's black. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter It doesn't matter if somebody's black if they're doing what they need to be doing. Like, that don't matter. You don't have to be black first to support reparations. You don't have to be black first to give people capital and give people what they deserve and give people what they need. Provide hope to people.
But you have to lead black first.
Hold on real quick, Tracy.
No, you don't. You don't have to. You think Joe Biden has to lead black first? No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to lead black first. All he has to do is tell black people what he's going to do for us and give us what we deserve. The same thing that she's doing.
Leading black first.
Go ahead, Haru.
Okay.
Everybody stay on your mic. Let him finish. We're going to let you finish, Haru, and then we're going to...
Okay. I mean, I don't agree that that's leading black first. I think that's just supporting what's good and it's the right thing to do. But at the same time, I mean, if she wants to be black first, I mean, how black do you want her to be? I guess that's what I'm saying.
Well, can she? Well, I mean, you say she's a black woman, right? Is she a black?
She's half black. Yeah, she's half black, and she's half Indian. I mean, I don't understand how is she not black?
Well, I'm asking you a question. I'm saying you say how black does she have to be? I'm saying, well, you're saying that she's a black woman, right?
She is a black woman.
Okay, so I want her to be just as black as the white people are that's up in the office as well too. Nobody asked white people how white do you have to be.
They're not supporting reparations. They're not giving capital to the Freedmen's Bank to get out capital to the freedmen. They're not supporting any of that. So why?
I'm saying, but if white people can stay in their whiteness, why can't a black person stay in their blackness?
That doesn't matter if you're helping who you need to help.
But you made the remark. You said how black does she have to be? And I'm saying, well, she can be just as black as the white people are white. I mean,
so you want her to just help black people?
I didn't say I want her just to help white. I didn't say that. I'm saying if white person Donald Trump doesn't make any Donald Trump doesn't apologize, or Joe Biden don't apologize for being white. So if she's a black woman, then she don't need to apologize for being black, right?
Absolutely not. I never said she should apologize for me. I don't think she.
Or she shouldn't tone down her blackness. She shouldn't tone down her blackness.
You said she shouldn't tone it down?
No.
But I mean, I guess you're right. She shouldn't tone it down, but she can't just say I'm all black, because that's not right.
She don't have to say I'm all black. By supporting reparations, listen, when you had General Sherman and they issued the what was it, field order, General Sherman wasn't a black man. Yeah, he still did the right thing. Now these other bastards came behind him and switched it out, but he did the right thing. He wasn't a black man, and I'm sure General Sherman wasn't in love with Negroes either.
I'm not sure what you're saying, but all I'm saying is you don't have to be black to support black people, and you don't have to be black first to do the right thing. That's all.
Okay. Yes, you do. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me go ahead. We got a bunch of hands. Tracy, real quick, because we got a bunch of new hands up, and I need to get to them. So I'll give you a minute or so.
Absolutely. Okay. So it's really frustrating because the fact that we are consistently. Most of this I've just heard about the bank and money. And money is absolutely irrelevant if you have no education and if you have no cognitive skills. It's useless. And that's the issue with predominantly Black America right now. We only make up 12% of the population. And the majority of that population lives in the South. As a woman who was born and raised in California, whose grandma was from Virginia, my grandma had to lie about our address in order to make sure that I got an upscale education. Okay. And then in my early 30s, I ended up moving to Birmingham, Alabama. 79% of the schools in Birmingham are failing. There's only one school in the entire city that actually has above a C rating. There is a fundamental issue. And I was talking about this the other day. I was saying, we keep worrying about the curtains on the house, but nobody is worried about the foundation. We have to build a foundation within Blackness. The other woman was saying, well, we don't have to vote Democrat or we don't have to vote Republican. We can vote down the middle and vote for Kennedy. We just have to organize. How? We haven't been able to organize the Black community since never. So I don't understand how we're all of a sudden at this election going to be able to do it within, 3 months or something like that? It's completely irrational and illogical. Now, can we work together in order to build a Black party? So now we have a 3-party system. Since both parties are fighting over us consistently, yes, we can actively do that for future elections. But we have to focus on right now, and we have to focus on the foundation. I need somebody to talk about how are we going to get Black kids effectively educated? How are we going to stop our black sons from either ending up dead or ending up in a prison system? How are we going to protect our Black women from ending up becoming single mothers? How are we going to help Black men and Black women be able to effectively raise their children from a very early age? Because from infancy to age 5 is the most formidable years for a child. That is when their brain is able to absorb the most amount of information. And so if you're not building a foundation before that child is 5, you have damaged their cognitive abilities, which is effective communication, critical thinking, and common sense. We need a foundation in our community. We don't need curtains right now. And it's completely frustrating. Kamala hasn't done anything collectively for our community that is going to uplift our community. I haven't seen it. Nobody has seen it because she's, for the most part, just been in the shadows, tap dancing around when they need a Black vote here and they need a Black vote there. That's what we're getting right now. It's just I don't understand. I really don't. We argue so much about semantics and we keep avoiding how do we build a proper home. Everybody keeps avoiding how do we build a proper home? How do we get laws in place that actually help the Black community? And yes, you can be ultimately Black and lead Black, and you don't have to be Black in order to lead Black. But in order for Black people to get ahead, you are going to have to lead Black. And the reason why is because we keep telling everybody that Black America is the weakest link. If Black America is the weakest link, that means we are part of the human chain. And until you fix what is broken, you don't have humanity in totality. So yes, you do have to lead with Blackness when you keep saying that Blackness is the worst part of American humanity. And that's just what I wanted to say.
All right. All right. Thank you, Tracy. Let me go ahead. I want to get to the new speakers. Friedman was up and he must have dropped down. So let me go ahead and get to Rella then. Rella, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out to the room. Shout out to the space. There was a lot that was said. And, it's weird. The last speaker, her points are valid, but at the same time, the president is not going to address the cognitive issues that are happening to kids across the states. That's not what they're going to do. That's actually state initiatives. That actually is your representatives on the state level. So if people aren't coming out and actually developing PACs, which I think the grassroots organizations and the people that are not plugged in and the people who are having, I think, the cognitive conversation are people who maybe are not plugged in with a lot of other organizations that are doing work, or maybe they are not around enough people that are addressing those issues, because it's not happening because it's just Black kids that are having problems with K through 12 and education. They just highlight the fact that it's majority Black kids because, again, we all know what happens when resources are divvied out. But if you are in neighborhoods that have like suburban areas and you're talking about Black kids who are excelling constantly you see the difference in resources in the way that the state votes for curriculums. So one thing we have to do is stop voting for people just because you think white ice is colder or better, and they're going to give your kids a better curriculum or education. And then, two, we need to start getting involved in the school system. That's just one thing that we all can address. Most parents don't even show up at the school board meetings. We can address that. That's different from talking about the presidency. None of these people have showed up for us in the way that we're talking right now. And I think I heard somebody talking about, there were white people that put their money in the Freedmen's Bureau Bank. No, they did not. And if they did, please, I want you to challenge me and point to that information because I didn't read it. The bank was actually constructed because white people did not want black people to mix their money. And let's keep it real. Yes, financial literacy is great, but financial literacy and access to opportunities on how to make your money grow, that's different. Most of these people have had time to develop systems and put things in place for their group. And guess what? They didn't all start out mathematical and accountant geniuses. They were thieves. When they first passed the first reparation, compensated emancipation reparations bill in D.C., them people was given money because they lost their contraband, which were slaves after emancipation. They weren't financially savvy. They was given the opportunity and given money. That means they didn't care how they spent their money. So I'm tired of people trying to make this into you got to have some financial fortitude. Black people spend all damn day trying to get financial fortitude and management on money. We got people swindling people all across social media and different platforms. Give these people their money. Stop trying to make this and turn this into we need to have courses and all this other stuff. You can do all that afterwards. Or you can do it now. You ain't got to wait. Don't nobody reparations. Wait because people want to have folks to be financially educated. You can still give folks their money. And stop lying. Stop trying to make this into it's a one shoe fits all. It's not. It's not. Moving and being able to fluidly digest information and making sure that people get the restore and repair compensation that they are due, that is a debt owed. That means the dumbest person, the most perfect for the job person, if reparations is due to them, give them their money. I don't care how they get to spend it how they want to. Who are you? Nobody. Families have not been repaired. And Kamala, literally, just because you say her dad was born in Jamaica, he's Indian. Indian people migrated to Jamaica. Hello? I don't even understand what people be talking about. You can't be half black and then in America talking about something you black and you don't know no information about the historical presence in this country. How you going to speak to it? What culture are you going to be speaking to when it comes to the issues in America? Huh? Because Kamala don't even correct y'all when she said, as a matter of fact, she gets on summits and say, I want to give a shout out to the Asian, Eastern Pacific side of her lineage. She don't mention shit about being Jamaican.
Language.
That's on me. She don't say nothing about being Jamaican. Y'all do that. And then talking about she half black. Her dad was born in Jamaica. No one stops to think, well, who was her dad? He ain't never even said that he was a Afro-Jamaican, Caribbean. He ain't never said none of that. Never got on stage nowhere and said that he was that. Nowhere. He's Indian. His family literally migrated from India to Jamaica. What is wrong with y'all? So because people from Jamaica, it's more than y'all know. It's more than melanated people that live in Jamaica, just like it is in America, right? You know that, right? Jamaica don't mean black. It means you was born somewhere. Black culture in America is black culture in America. Y'all be acting like this is some crown box conversation. We know what we talking about when we talking about black culture in America, soul culture in America. We not talking about the Timbu drums. We ain't talking about Timbuktu. We ain't talking about nowhere in Africa. America. Soul culture. That's not nobody else's. If you don't understand the freedmen's history, you don't understand black culture in America. Can we add that on the tip of y'all tongues? Because y'all be just trying to let's talk about it in some flat area and everybody just get painted with the same brush. No, because when I talk to someone from Cameroon, when I talk to somebody from Nigeria or Ghana, we don't speak the same language. We just all share melanin because guess what? History says black people's all over the world. Melanated people's all over the world. But what unfolded is we all develop traditions and cultures and foods and the way we talk and language. Body autonomy. I be hearing y'all talk about body autonomy, and the moment we start talking about nepotism and body autonomy for black Americans, people lose their stuff. Why you want to be divisive? Why you want to break people up? Because we are the ones in America literally still speaking the language of the ancestors. Where's our money? Why is it that we can't sit here and do our own archaeological stuff and get our own bills and things like that? Because why every time we start talking this language, other groups don't want to back us up. They want us to be one big black African. Kamala Harris has a history. Her family got a history and a lineage. Why y'all can't let that be? Y'all be trying to make her black. She says she's not. Stop trying to change this woman's identity because it's a slap in her mother's face. She is upholding her mom's lineage, and that's the lineage she wants to uphold. Let her do that. But when it comes to policies, you ain't gonna change my mind when it comes to policies. I want to see them. I want to see them. And we can create political action committees and everything else while we still doing all this stuff. It's pressure cooker time. But if you ain't got no policies, you ain't got stuff that you can deal with the relationships on the state level, because let's keep it all the way 100. Kamala getting in office, unless she gonna sign an executive order, whoever win the primaries on the state level, if they are Republican, we ain't getting nothing, because Republicans don't got no policy for reparations for black Americans. If you can't get no relationships with the people on the state and no power on the state, which those are the people that make up the House and the Senate, the president can't do nothing but sign an executive order, but he needs the bill, or she would need the bill on the desk from the House, pass through the Senate, unless they just going to be like, I'm just going to sign this. I don't need nobody to tell me. That's the reason why people like Trump, because Trump just do whatever. He don't care. So unless Kamala coming in there on that type of time, and she's really coming in on that type of time on some blackness, because let's tell the truth. She did horrible in California. I'm a Californian. We all know she did horrible. I don't care about who she slept with, because people sleep around all the time. But she did horrible. Her record was trash. People try to make that out to be something like we shouldn't be talking about that. No, it was trash. And she's been the vice president this entire time, and Congress has been acting a fool, and she's supposed to be the one getting them in line. That's the job of the vice president, if nobody knows that. The majority of the people in the House and the Senate are Republicans. They in the House holding us hostage in this country because they don't want to see a current administration pass anything that's going to impact us in the right way, because they want to make sure the Republicans get the credit. We dealing with people, whether Democrat or Republican, hold the country hostage because they playing party politics instead of being about the people. And y'all want to sit up here and holler about, well, are we going to talk about black men and how we going to talk about mothers being single mothers? If you have a child, that means you're a single father too. And single mothers don't make children on their own. We don't reproduce. We ain't asexual. That's not how this works.
Let me get you to go ahead and land it, Rella.
Okay, I'm gonna land it. I'm gonna just put it to you like this: if you're talking in general sense, you need to make sure you're talking in a collective sense for the family and not just on some individual stuff. And if you on some individual stuff, do that on your own type of time, because we've been all in the conversation trying to figure out how to heal us together. So facts are facts. Stop trying to make this woman out to be something she not, because she keeps telling y'all she not black. She says it all the time. Y'all keep trying to make her black. And the second thing is, if you ain't voted on the state level to get power into the state to do what we need to do so the president got something to work with, stop trying to come up here and have this argument. It's not going to work. We got 5, 10 years, 100-year plan that we have to try to divvy out. That's the one thing I do agree with the last person that said something. But it don't mean that we got to be pigeonholed between these two, Republicans and Democrats. My vote is for sale, meaning that my best interest is it's got to be on this ballot of theirs.
All right, Rella, I'm about to land your plane for you.
Okay, thank you. 747.
All right, thank you, Rella. Appreciate it. We got almost 100 people in here, y'all, and we hadn't got anybody to donate at least $1 to the Newstoter platform. I know we can at least get one person to Cash App $1, $Newstoter to the Newstoter platform, guys. Make sure y'all visit newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking black news. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. With 100 people in here, close to 100 people, I know we can get at least one person to go ahead and to Cash App $1 to the newstoter.com platform. Let me go ahead and get to Original. Original, where you at? You still up here, Original? Okay, I see you.
Yes, I'm still here. And Newstoter, my concern is this. Now, you had one. The person before Rella said that we had never been organized. Dr. King had us organized back in the 50s and 60s regarding getting civil rights. See, what I'm looking at is that how these people, and I hate to say this, but they're either Democratic or Republican shields. They want us what we should be. No, that is not your job. And as far as education, people don't need. Black people already have financial literacy. Hell, I know black folks who didn't even graduate from high school. They own multiple homes and multiple cars and everything else. So all this talk about trying to make us look like we are dysfunctional. No, you all are dysfunctional. That's how that works. Because y'all always come up there with this crap telling us what we need to do and what we don't have. Oh no, we have everything that you said that we don't have. Because if we didn't, how did our people own land and homes and other things? And oftentimes they did not have a high school diploma. There's a book. It's called. They made it into a movie. It's called the Ditch Diggers. The Ditch Diggers' Daughters. This guy.
That was a good movie too. Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. This guy did not have a high school education, but he made damn sure that his children had a high school education. So I don't want to hit his crap telling black folks what we don't have and what how our children are going to be educated. Worry about your own raggedy house and your own raggedy children. Now leave the rest of us alone. Because we are tired of this crap of everybody coming out. This Newstoter. But Kamala Harris said in an interview in 2020, she was asked about reparations for black Americans, and she said that she wouldn't do anything that would only benefit us. Well, newsflash, black Americans are the only one that was enslaved, and we are the only one that should benefit from our unique pain and suffering. I've already told, I'm getting people that they're texting me, they're calling me, trying to tell me that I need to vote. Hell no, I'm not voting for this tramp. She will not get, unless she's going to come out and deliver on lineage-based reparations, she's not getting my vote. And there is nothing or no one that any of you have in your life that has the power to make me vote, because I own and control my vote and nobody else. And I'm tired of hearing this crap where these people want to come out here and they want to downgrade us. All of a sudden, the Indians have financial literacy when they got reparations. See, that's the problem right there. Y'all want to talk about us, but I don't ever hear these people talk about these other folks who got reparations. So the Indians are like some of the their conditions are worse than ours. But where is the word about them getting financial literacy before they got reparations? Crickets. So stop projecting your stupidity on us because we don't want it and we don't need it. This is insane. Just because, and I'm telling you now, no, I will not vote for Karma Sutra Kamala. She's not, the only way she would get my vote is she better be delivering on lineage-based reparations in our land.
All right, appreciate that, Original. Let me give a shout out real quick to Russell, ASOP, Florence, and Sharon for their contributions on Cash App. Thank you guys, greatly appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get it to I want to get the Black Majority State. Duncan, I see you up here. Just Cakes, I got you as well too. Black Majority State, how you doing tonight? Can you hear me, Black?
Yeah, he might be having an issue with the mic total because that's what was going on with mine earlier, man. Some, this space kind of goes cheeky sometimes. Okay,
I'll come back to Black. He may be driving and came up in a spot or whatever. Let me go ahead and get to Duncan. Duncan, go ahead and unmute your mic.
There was some good speakers that I've been hearing. The lady that was before the last speaker.
Hey, Duncan, you got a headset on?
Yeah, I have a headset on.
Yeah, we got to get you to take it off because we can barely hear you.
Okay, if I speak louder, can you hear me now?
It's still going to be hard. You can't take it off?
Well, yeah, I'll take it off. Let me pull it in. Let me see. How can I take this off?
Black, I'm going to get back to you. I see you came back up.
You can come back to me.
All right, I'll come back to you. Yeah, I'll come back to you. Let me get the Black Majority State. Black, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
Good. I hope the family, everybody's doing good. So shout out to the space. I'm be very quick. I put in the purple pill a post that I made called Reparations Czar. Reparations Czar. When Kamala was first announced, what you saw was a lot of this information about her being appointed as the border czar, even as the vice president. Typically, that czar position, which is technically not an official designation, we have some official title, but essentially they are put in an executive office position where they are the person who's leading the charge for whatever the area of this czar position is. So if it's border, they're going to focus on the border. If it's drugs, they're going to focus on drug policy. Energy policy. There's been a lot of these czars. Obama and Bush, the Bush Jr., had the most czars in history, but it really goes all the way back in time. I can't remember the president, but the gentleman, I believe in the 1700s, was like the first bank czar, and it's been used periodically. And some of these people in this position are able to transfer from one administration to the other. So this is an executive position that is appointed by the president. Sometimes they're vetted through Congress, sometimes they're not. But this would be something that we should and could advocate for to all of these candidates in the presidential election, because it would be a nonpartisan position, a position that's focused on Black American issues, Black American policy, and it would give us someone who's got a direct line to the president and members of Congress. I think this is very, very critical to the idea of federal reparations, and not so much as a study, because I think what this would do is give the person who does become this executive reparations czar the ability to gather up all the information from all the states. There's I want to say it's a news clip where they say there's 50 different reparations movements or initiatives going on concurrently in the country right now. And that is amazing. And that says that God is moving within the reparations movement, and that it is moving, and that it is ultimately going to make its way to the federal government. I don't think it's a matter of if, I think it's a matter of when. And so by us advocating from the grassroots and all the connections that different people have to get our vote that they must create this position. When Trump went to the libertarians, he offered them a cabinet level position. This is what we need as a people in this country, to have this position as an executive appointee that's going to advocate to the vice president, the president, and Congress on policy issues across the board for Black America. So I'll just end on that.
All right. Thank you, Black. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to let me get to Jess Cakes. Jess Cakes, go ahead and unmute your mic. You there, Jess Cakes?
Yeah, I'm here. Just real quick. I don't understand how people can study beat the drum for Kamala. And I'm not gonna beat up on them. I'm not gonna beat up on her. But she, her for one, she definitely said, let's be very clear that she's not gonna do anything specifically for Black people. And then two, she assisted Joe Biden with letting all these illegal things. She got all these programs and stuff like that for the illegal immigrants. And the people that's so gun-ho about having her as the president and stuff like that, you must not have to deal with the illegals that's coming in. They had a fear of these people moving next door to you, which we have some on my block, that anything could happen and they could just go in the wind, go back to their country and stuff like that. For example, the guy that committed those murders against the other, and he disappeared. So even if I don't see how you can even take for Kamala when she's doing something to directly hurt you. And as far as if she is going to help the Black community, ambiguous, just like her quote-unquote racial identity. I'm going to jump down to listener. You guys have a good night. Much love, Newstoter, and the rest of the fam and stuff like that. Great debate.
Thank you, Jess Cakes. Let me go ahead and get to Perfect. Perfect. I know you're a new speaker. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
That is super funny. I knew you were gonna call on me. Okay. First things first, I want to say thank you for allowing me to speak. I always enjoy you guys. I always enjoy this room. Rella, you always are on point. Just a few things. To be honest, I know we keep talking about general, but right now, this is personal for me. This ain't for everybody. This is in my heart to say, hold up. I can't allow the Democrats to do what they have done to me. I can't allow this. They told me that they don't mess with me. You know, and I understand you can give me the lecture about the Republicans, and I understand all that too. But I'm facing someone right now that was dear to me, that I fooled with in a certain type of way, that's telling me I'm not going to do nothing for you. And they're giving me their behind the kiss time after time again. And even right now, they're not even trying to talk to us. They're still doing stuff like letting the Democrat shields go in and talk crazy to us instead of saying, hold on, we want to do a grassroots meeting. We want to do a couple of them, matter of fact. That's going to be on my agenda to every time I go into any state, I want to talk to the Black Americans that have been here. I hear your voice. I keep calling you bots, but I hear your voice. So I would love to get together, you know, in each state. And the bigger states with the most, more populations of Black Americans, we can do a 2-day thing. They don't care. So to me, it's personal now. I can't worry about the rest of what Black Americans are going to do. Because a lot of them saying, I'm going to do blue no matter who. I don't care what you're talking about, madam. I can't do it. And I respect that. So what I'm saying is, this is what I'm going to do. Next thing is this. If we didn't get anything else from out of this last 5 years that I have really been in the trenches with my folks, and I'm talking general now, if we didn't get anything else, we got a huge wake-up call. We moved totally different. And somebody said, you know what, we might not see reparation. It might not be for another 50 years, 100 years. It is what it is. But I do know is that a lot of us have got up politically, started looking at things different, reading different. Hell, half of us couldn't barely read, not half of us, a few of us, couldn't read the way we were probably supposed to. But we're reading a little bit different now. So we don't get anything else from this stuff because they have wore us out purposely. I know that we politic a little bit more different. It ain't no blue, no matter who, as a whole no more. People are looking at their dinner tables, looking at this stuff singularly first. Saying, hold on, our house can't do this no more. I know aunties, I know grandma, big mom, and all of them saying they're going to go down there. We're going to do the whole ballot blue. But we're not going to do this no more. We're going to politic different. And now we're going, and I'm ending with this, and now we're going to sit at different tables as well. And it's going to be a lot of things that we probably don't like, but I'm for sure we can find a lot of things at these other tables that we do like. So if we don't get anything else out of this deal, guys, we finally start to stand up for ourselves. And I'm proud about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Perfect. Let me go ahead. Duncan, are you able to speak now? Yeah, see, Duncan doesn't have his hand up, so I'll just
I don't know if you can hear me still.
I can hear you a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Go ahead.
What I was saying is that a lot of people, they were making some good points. I'm just trying to make sure I can still be heard.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, but like I was saying, there's a lot of people that were making good points. Especially the lady that said that it needs to be like a 100-year commitment to a reparation, not just like an overnight type of thing, or just a one check and done type of thing. Like a 100-year commitment to reparation. Just like they're committed to the state of Israel existence. And I also would like to say that I don't look at it as just black. I don't care if Kamala is black. This is a lineage specific movement, and I think every time we focus on whether she's black or not, or who's black or not, we are really derailing lineage-specific reparations. Because if we want reparations to be lineage-specific, we waste time on who's black and who's not black. I think the whole definition of...
I can't hear. I got to drop down and come back.
Okay.
I think the whole definition of who we are should change. I think the whole definition of who people are in America should change. It should be not race specific. It should be lineage specific. I think that whole race thing is a scam. It's been a scam. It was made as a fixed deck of cards that we would never win. So I feel that we should stay focused on lineage specific initiatives. And that's all I like to say. People are making good points, and I like to listen and learn because you have a lot of good speakers, and so are you. But that's all I wanted to say. I love that 100-year commitment, and it should be a 100-year commitment, if not more. And that's all I like to say.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate that, Duncan. Let me go ahead and get to Ray. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic. You still up here, Ray?
Oh, what's going on? Sorry, man, I took a phone call real quick. I literally clicked off just in time. So I just wanted to pose basically a question kind of that I asked earlier, but we have a lot more people in here, so I want to get some feedback about it. So it seems like it's the same hustle, every 48 years. So, when Obama got in, they were saying, he just got in office 24 hours ago. Why can't we just wait and see what he's going to do? So we waited 24 hours, and then 2 years rolled by. Then they said, well, It's only been 2 years since they've been in office. Can't we be patient? And then 4 years. It's been 4 years. We have to give him another shot to come aside. Then 8 years later, well, he's not only the president of black people. That's what it turned into eventually. So, it seems like it's just the same finesse over and over and over again. And I wanted to quote what I was saying about Marcel earlier. Like I said, this come from him, so I want to give him credit. That Democrats had full control from 1961 to 1969, from 1977 to 1981, from 1993 to 1995, and from 2009 to 2013. They've had ample opportunity to do reparations, and they have failed us, as have the Republicans. But black Americans vote overwhelmingly for the Democrats. So if that is the case, why should we trust Kamala now? Why? I mean, you just can't keep fooling us. Fool us once, y'all know how that saying goes. They're not just going to keep pulling the wool over our eyes. Why should we trust her now, or the Democrats for that sake of argument?
All right, thank you, Ray. Professor, it's been a minute since you hadn't spoke. You want to go ahead and speak? I know it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, y'all, Kamala is a cosplayer. Has been. She's going to continue to do what she has to do to sell herself to the black American community because she's just trying to win votes. That's all it is. In politics, they play a game, and that is a game to win at all costs. And in politics, we know what they like to do, which is lie, deceive. And they would do anything they can to pull the wool over your eyes. I don't care how you think you like them, how you think she might be smart, intelligent, how you might think she got some black in her. The fact of the matter is she's a liar. She's using this whole race thing to pull the so-called black girl magic card again. Okay? And sadly, people are falling for it. I really hate that. I think what we need to do is look at other candidates. You can look at RFK. Donald Trump, we know about him, so you really don't have to look at him. But look at RFK. Look at Jill Stein. Look at Dr. Cornel West. Look at other candidates. And if you like me, you're probably not going to vote. Well, I just put it this way. I would not vote for Kamala. I can't do it. Can't vote for Trump. So I have to look at something else outside of those two. Sadly, y'all, in America, we are living in some times where you just don't know who to vote for. You don't know who you can trust. You can't trust anybody. Let's just keep it real. Put your faith in God. That's really where it's at. Put your faith in God and pray. But at the same time, make sure you watch your surroundings. Make sure you continue to read and study. Don't let people tell you who to go vote for. Read up. Educate yourselves on who you need to vote for. Hell, you might not want to vote for any of them. They all liars at the end of the day. So, with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Tracy right there. I think she's next. Is Tracy next, total?
I think it's the Haru and then Tracy.
Okay, all right.
Haru, go ahead, at Haru, and then we're gonna get to Tracy and Rella.
All right. So, I just want to say that I think we're holding Kamala to a completely higher standard than any of these white predecessors that she's ever had, and I think that's completely unfair. She is literally doing what she can do within the bounds of the law because she's the vice president. She can only do so much, otherwise it would be a national security issue. She can't just say that, hey, I'm going to give all your reparations. She can't just do it. I mean, there's the laws that she has to follow. Again, the reason I'm more on the left is because I support the will of the public versus the will of the Constitution. Okay, that's the difference between somebody on the left, right? For me, that's what it is. I support the will of the public. The will of the public is that the public has the right and the will to do what they agree upon doing versus the constitutionalists who just believe that the Constitution is infallible, should never be changed, etc. So I think that we're holding Kamala to a completely higher standard than anybody else, and I think that's completely unfair. She's done so much already. And no, I'm not paid by anybody. That's just my opinion. I think that we're just sort of dragging her, and the fact that she's a woman too, I think that makes it even worse because it's so much misogyny. I don't think that on purpose.
Well, listen, she's a big girl. Okay, we know politics is a dirty game. She's a big girl. She can defend herself the same way men get mud slung against them as well too. So she has a chance to sling mud right back as well too.
I agree. I think she can definitely handle it. That's not what I'm saying. Well, all I'm saying is that if we're going to hold her to this standard, we should hold every vice president in the history of America to the same standard. And that's all I'm saying about that. I'm going to land there.
All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Tracy. Tracy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Sorry, I had a dog fiasco. The woman that spoke after me, I just wanted to clarify. So we have a national education system. It's not a state by state. It's national. So yes, the president can do something about that. And then just to tell me that it's wrong, but not come up with a solution is completely counterproductive to moving anything forward. Because no solution was offered. And so if we change the national system for education, Black people will benefit. America will benefit in totality. Regarding cognition has nothing to do ultimately with schools. Because like I said, it's infancy to age 5. Legally, a child does not have to be enrolled in school until the age of 6 in America. So technically, anything under first grade is on the parent. And if the parent doesn't have the proper education and the proper tools in order to provide for that child, then the school is going to get exactly what it has right now. And it has a bunch of low cognition children. And the majority of the day for teachers is spent on classroom management. They are trying to manage these kids that their parents do not take care of. And typically they do not take care of them because these are young people who have an education. So we are just repeating cycles. So if we stop trying to point blame and keep telling people that they're wrong, but not having a solution, then we are stagnant. And that's why the Black community is where it is right now, because we are stagnant and we keep focusing on all these other problems except for us. We have to focus on us. There is a gentleman saying the Americas, and don't tell me how to educate my children. Okay, well then, are you going to properly educate them if you don't want anybody to tell you how to? Like it's frustrating, beyond frustrating. We have to focus on a foundation. We have to focus on solutions. We already know our problem. So how do we get people in office that understand the foundations of humanity and the foundations of civilization and how we are able to build a healthy, happy, sustainable society? How do we do that? That's what we should be talking about, because anything else is just fluff, really. It's semantics. And there was one other point that I wanted to make. I can't think of it. Child, those dogs of mine. I have 4 dogs and 2. In regarding to, yes, I am fortunate in the fact that my grandmother sacrificed in order to put me in good schools. But we also grew up very, very poor. I grew up around gangsters and drug dealers. I have a very, very horrible childhood. And I had to step outside of that childhood and all of that trauma and realize that if I am not healthy, my children are not going to be healthy. So I had to go through therapy. I had to figure out the worst of me so my children could be better. Now, I need you to understand that as a mom, I was a stay-at-home homeschooling mom until my son was in 2nd grade, until my daughter went into kindergarten. And the only reason why my daughter went to kindergarten is because of the fact that her father and I left her dad. Now, I need you to understand that my son and my daughter are in the 91st percentile of the world. There's only 9% of the world that is smarter than them. They've been tested. They're absolutely brilliant. And the reason why my children are brilliant, coming from a woman who grew up around gangsters and drug dealers, is because of the fact that I understand that my children are supposed to be the best of me. They are an extension of me. And if I am not feeding them the best, then that means I am telling myself that I am less than. Every time I give them less, that is saying I am worth nothing. We have to alter how we perceive our society, how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive parenthood, how we perceive womanhood, manhood. We are lacking right now. And again, we keep focusing on all the curtains and in the house, and we are not focusing on the foundation of the house. We need new implementation within schools in order for them to bring in therapy into the schools. Adequate, not even adequate therapy, proper therapy. There needs to be parenting classes. So when these kids come in here and they see that there is a deficiency, they go to the parent and say, hey, we have the resources that you need in order to make sure that you can get your children to where they need to be. So when they come to school, school is not a chore for a child. School does not feel like the child is getting beat down by education.
Real quick, Tracy. Real quick, we're getting towards the end. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll
drop. Thank you so much.
All right. Everybody who speaks, I'm going to drop them down. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to speak because we're getting towards the end and we're trying to close this space out. So I'm going to give you 2 to 3 minutes. If you don't land your plane, then I'm going to have to land it for you. Rella, you're next, and then I'm going to get to the new hands up in here as well, too, and then we're going to go ahead, like I said, we're going to try to close this thing out shortly. Go ahead, Rella, you got 2-3 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Newstoter. And so since Tracy didn't learn my name is Rella, Sister Rella for you. I'm not that lady. That's how I know you wasn't listening to nothing I said, because I said state-level issues can be addressed by organizations and the people and the families that get together and work with the state representatives. And Joe Biden or any of the presidents have never actually done anything for literacy, because that's not the job of the president. So your comment was ignorant. So this ain't no counseling session. We don't care about your 9% children. Great for you for having smart kids. Wonderful. This is not an individual conversation. I don't have to bring up my IQ to have a conversation about voting for the president and the policies that we're looking for. That's not this conversation. Maybe you need to get with your woman group and have that conversation on how you can address the literacy in your household compared to the people in your community, since you got a problem with your community. But demonizing the Black community because we're talking about politics right now, that is the devil talk that I'm talking about. You got an issue with issues within the Black community that the president is not going to address because she not Black. She no Black. And I did give a solution. You too hard of hearing. Clean the wax out of your ears. My answer was state power. If the president can't work with the state politicians to get the things that we need, because once you pass a bill, it has to be implemented on the state level by the representatives to pass down to the people, to affect us directly. So what is it you didn't hear? Huh? You didn't hear a counseling session? Is that what you didn't hear? I'm so sick of this. Stop trying to batter and bruise Black Americans because you got a problem with literacy. Because your children is on 9% and they've been tested. In the Black community, is it like, did we really just have somebody get on here and talk about how the Black community is ignorant? But yet, we got Black Girl Magic, Black young boys doing great things. I don't understand this. What is happening? You don't do that to no other group. And who told you that the Black grassroots and people are not worried about their children and education? Nobody. That's not even the discussion. So back to what we're talking about.
Okay, go. I'm get ready to wrap it up. Land it, bro.
I'm about to land this 747. Listen, vote for your interests, and you make sure you look for their policies, and their policies should speak to repair. That means that if they're not voting, passing any executive orders within their first 1 to 10 to 100 days, then you vote for the person that's speaking our language. Kamala don't got no policies out right now, and she's in office. The vice president most certainly actually can work with Congress and tell them to get their shit together before.
Here we go with the cursing.
But she not. I'm sorry, Newstoter. I love you. Okay, bye, you guys.
Okay, goodbye. All right, let me go ahead and get to the Atman. The Atman, go ahead and unmute your mic. You got a couple minutes, and then we're gonna go to the next speaker too.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me up to speak. Folks have talked about the reparations plan, or at least the need for a reparations plan that, let's say, extends giving the money for 100 years. I went to Marcel for Congress. I went to his website and found the link to the reparations plan that is on his website. One link, and it's on my timeline, and I can't post to the Jumbotron for some reason. Twitter won't let me, but if someone wants to go to my TL and get that link and post it, if it's appropriate, feel free, or just go to my TL and view it. One link there talks about the plan. The other one shows the calculation, and within the link that shows the calculation, it talks about it being extended, given to our people into perpetuity. I'm not here to defend the plan. I'm simply here to make you aware of it. Thank you. I'll land there.
All right. Thank you, brother. We appreciate having you tonight. Let me go ahead and get to He Am I. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, brother, for letting me speak. I just wanted to agree with what the young lady, I believe her name was Riza. I don't want to get her name wrong, but I believe it was Riza. Yeah, any politician will talk when they get on these news shows. They tell you what they're going to do, and within 100 days, that is what they're doing. And if they're not talking about what you're asking for and they don't have a policy for you, then you better damn sure give them one. That's really all I had to say, brother. Thank you for letting me.
No problem. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to we got next. I am. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Peace, power, and Negro Reparations family.
What's up now?
Hi, Newstoter. Hi, Original. Hi, Professor.
What's up?
Shout out to Sister Rella for her comment. She pretty much said what I had to say, because I was trying to figure out how you coming on here complaining about the same thing that you're doing, Miss Tracy. You know, what are your solutions? What solutions have you put forth in our community? I was so confused. I was like, wait a minute, you're complaining about this, but you ain't doing nothing. Like this is just weird. But you know, shout out to Rella for handling that so eloquently. And I love y'all. Have a good night.
All right. Well, we love you too, sister. You have a good night as well. I am. Let me go ahead and move it along. Let me go ahead and get to now I can't see your name. It's a new speaker up here. VOA always drumming.
Yeah, my bad.
Vo.
I was originally Aboriginal, but yeah. But anyway, appreciate you. Peace, love, reparations to everybody in the room. My black family in the room. But I wanted to respond to the brother that before the lady, Miss Tracy had said something. He said that in so many words, I don't want to misquote him, but in so many words, he said that she can't really do nothing just for as it pertains to reparations just for black people. And I hate when people say that, because we have so much evidence of not only other groups getting reparations, but groups getting policies passed, getting bills passed, getting programs and things specifically for them. Like, I hate when people just be like, oh, they can't just do that for black. Why not? Literally, there's no reason they can't, other than what Dr. Claude Anderson said way back in the 90s, benign neglect. And that's what it has been. So in my opinion, I suggest that we, focus on the local voting and stuff like that, because in my opinion, the folks in the presidential election and stuff like that, they chosen anyway. But either case, go local, focus on that, and then black folks, man, family, stick to ourselves. Like, especially right now, stick to ourselves. This is the time where we have to not just spend money with ourselves, but like protect each other, all those type of things, especially like police shit been going on. But there was something that Tommy said, she's a celebrity from Baddies or whatever the case. She said that I'm not gonna march no more. I'm done with this shit, man. Fuck the march.
Hey, language. Hey, hold on real quick. For the rest of everybody up here, don't curse, y'all. But go ahead.
Yeah, but just I'm done with that. So that's my sentiment. So all I can say is, like I said, man, talk with your family, vote local and stuff like that. And also I agree with everyone who said if it's on the line with your morals and what you want done and stuff like that, then just don't vote for them. I just don't know what else to say. But either way, peace, love, reparations out. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead real quick. Hold on. Let me go ahead and get to Mel. Go ahead and unmute your mic, Mel.
Yeah, Newstoter, Newstoter. Tracy. Tracy, you, first of all, your profile says F Tracy. Now, how do your 9% rate kids, how they gonna feel about that if they see that? And your tone, talking to this intellectual group of individuals, is very condescending. I mean, come on, girl. It makes it sound like you're just front for Jamaica. And you don't have any. You didn't offer not damn suggestions. So for someone whose children are ranking high in the percentile, what are you asking us for suggestions for? Why aren't you spitting that, as opposed to these condescending remarks that you were making? And what's really important is teachers know what they signed up to do. They know what they signed up for. And teachers are not going to get students who are cookie cutter and they all do the same thing. You're going to get students who are one parent household, living with fosters, living with the trauma this, trauma that, drug abuse, this, that, and 2/3. And it's the teacher's responsibility to be able to pivot and shift and move and still instill some education in these children. How are you going to demand that a parent who is incapable, or as you were, incapable of teaching their child, and all of a sudden hold them to a standard of someone who is capable of teaching? That's what teachers are there for. So if you want some solutions, what needs to happen is we need to be making sure we're taking care of the teachers and giving them the resources. But I really don't appreciate, and maybe you just aren't aware that your tone is super condescending. Nobody's trying to hear that from you, girl. Especially when you came from a disadvantaged situation and now you just reign supreme. So how dare you judge us from something that you came out of, that you tell it, and then from the level that you judging us some more because we're not giving you solutions. The way you judging us, we're not capable of offering solutions. But based on your level of success, you got all the answers. So why aren't you spitting that tea?
All right.
Stop it.
I'm gonna have you land it, Mel. We're gonna.
I'll land.
All righty. Okay. To all of the co-hosts, don't bring anybody else up because we're trying to get up out of here. I'm trying to get up out of here, so I'm trying to let everybody come up here that's up here real quick, go ahead and say because we're trying to close this space up. Haru, I'm gonna let you get a minute, man, because you've been up here for a minute, and you get a minute up here, and that's it. Because I know you on the Democrat wagon or whatever. And I'm like this. I'm an independent. I'm not here for the Democrats or the Republicans. I'm not a Democrat. Yeah. Okay. Right. And I'm not black either. And I'm not black either. No, I lean to for black people, black Americans. That's why I lean to. And we on the left. No. Neither. No. One party, both of these parties are redneck parties, white supremacist parties. Don't even talk about. Let's not even talk about their clan roots and their slavery roots and everything else. So and I'm talking about that neither one of them want to see black empowerment. That's what I'm talking about. They pretend and they play around with each other, but these people are related. They hang out at the same country clubs. They go over each other's house for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Only black people think that it's a difference. They know better. But go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm just going to speak on two things really quick. Agenda and education. So for education, I completely agree that we should be focusing our time and our energy on education, which Kamala is already doing. She's already spoke at the teachers' union. Again, I work for public again, so obviously I'm going to support them. I'm going to support the unions. She's working for the union, so but she's also an educated person herself, so she's going to support the school. She's going to support the teachers, as she has already done. And again, as far as her agenda is not posted. She hasn't posted her agenda. We don't know what's on her agenda, so we can't really make any conclusions about what she's going to do. What she's going to do. I think that we are speculating, and that's good that we're speculating, but she hasn't actually said what she's going to do. So until she posts her agenda, then we are just pretty much just guessing what she's going to do. But I support the girl, the sister, Kamala, whether she's black or white or Indian or whatever the fuck. I mean, I don't know why y'all holding her up to this standard. Like, watch her language.
Yeah, I done told y'all not to curse him, but thank you, Karu. We appreciate you. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. And we do know her agenda. Her agenda is going to be abortion rights. It's going to be voting rights, and they're going to talk about women rights and stuff. So they're going to talk about the same stuff. They're going to talk about that they're trying to destroy Social Security and they're trying to destroy Medicare. The same stuff they always talk about. So like we do know. We know exactly what they're going to say, and you know it as well too. Go ahead, Black Majority State. You got it.
Okay, thank you. So someone brought up RFK, so I got to come in with the numbers. Jill Stein, for what it's worth, she's fighting for ballot access. Someone mentioned about creating this black party. This is the problem with trying to create a national black party. You're going to be fighting against the Democrats. You're going to be fighting against the Republicans for ballot access. These white parties have a difficult time establishing a third party because the duopoly keeps them off the ballots. Now, Dr. Cornel West, for what it's worth, respect him, respect whatever he's got going on. He is not getting ballot access. He's just not getting ballot access. And it is what it is. It's going to be what it is. Jill Stein is getting some access, but both of them are polling in the 1 to 2 percentile. They're very low in the polls. Their names really don't even come up. RFK just added 3 more states where he's officially on the ballot. There's 34 states total. He's got access to 425 electoral college votes, which absolutely is enough to stop Kamala or Trump from getting a 270, which is his greatest potentiality. He's polling at 20+%, and these are new polls after Kamala was announced as the Democrat nominee. So of the independents that are out there that are actually viable to actually either disrupt Trump or Kamala or actually ultimately win, he's the only one who's actually polling at a level where it looks like he could do what Ross Perot did and shift the election. At that time, it was away from the first Bush, and Clinton got in. The difference being that this guy is getting Republican, Libertarian, and Democrat voters to come into his tent. I believe if this movement had spotted him, had acknowledged him, had really, really tapped in a year ago, we would know way much more, and we would actually be pushing this guy versus pushing Trump. He has an immigration policy. He thinks what's going on under Biden is insane, and he talks about protecting black communities from massive immigration. I think if they were sending these people to Nebraska, Iowa, wherever, Midwest, South Dakota, North Dakota, we likely wouldn't even really be discussing that issue because it wouldn't have centered itself around us. That's a Democrat and a Republican mechanism. They both are complicit in pushing those people into these black communities intentionally. So you can't run to the Republicans, and the Republicans are the ones flying and busing them into these black communities specifically to harm black people. Miss Tracy, this is the last thing I want to say. We do have a plan and we do have an agenda, and it is called Migration for the Creation of Black Majority State Authorities. The power in this country is in the state. The federal government puts out policy in a lot of different areas, including education, but ultimately the state formulates the curriculum. This is why you see in Florida, DeSantis is saying no CRT, no African American history in the schools, because the state has authority over what happens in their state, and the federal government will not disrupt that authority because it's unconstitutional. And I'll learn with that.
All right. It's only fair because Tracy, I see she came back up here. I'm one of the co-hosts must have brought you back up here, Tracy, but did you want to respond real quick? I'll give you 2 minutes if you want to say something, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready to close this thing out.
Really quickly, I just wanted to say that I did offer solutions. My solution was two solutions, and it was offering parental support and therapy in schools. So if a child comes to school and they are behind in any type of cognitive way, that they can add resources to the parents in order for them to be able to work better and more cohesively with their children. And then bringing therapy into the schools, because most of the time it's not a learning thing, it's an emotional thing. Most people are lack emotional intelligence. And so I did offer solutions. Also, my children are in the 91st percentile, and there's 9% of the population that is smarter than them. And it's not within the state. It's a global thing. Only 9% of the world is smarter than my children. And that's because of the fact that I stepped outside of what people told me about blackness and that we were inadequate. And I learned, and I value who I am, and I value my blackness so much to know that we come from greatness. So if we come from greatness, then that means that I need to live within greatness, and I need to teach my children that they need to live in greatness as well. And that includes not just IQ, but EQ as well. I'm not going to sit here and attack you and your opinions or your views, because that's just not who I am. I consistently work to be a reflection of God, which is love, kindness, mercy, and grace, which equal to humility. So whatever narrative you want to place on me in order to make you feel better about how you feel, that's something that you have to deal with and not me. And so maybe work on, being more compassionate when you speak to people, because I'm not being condescending at all whatsoever. What I'm asking for is for people to focus on a foundation. How do we work together cohesively? And if you are working from a negative attitude and yelling and screaming and talking down to people and downplaying who they are and not comprehending what they're saying so that you go off on them, it's counterproductive to anybody to be able to succeed and grow in totality.
All right, Tracy.
So and then the one last thing about the education. Yes, I understand that there are intricacies within education that are part of state. However, ultimately, we can change that. And that's what I'm trying to say. How do we work on making things better? And that was all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for bringing me back up.
All right. Thank you. Mel, we'll get you back up on the next one. I'm going to go ahead and close this thing out. Original, I know you got your hand up real quick, but I'm trying to get up out of here. Bratnella, you said something in the comment section. I'll give you a minute. Did you want to say something real quick or something? Is it about the actual topic tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, not about the original topic. It was like kind of like the general discussion, but I can save it for another time. I just wanted to say that I appreciate everything that you guys do. I'm in my mid 60s. I voted for the first time in like the mid 90s, and then I joined the union, and then I got actively involved into politics. And I was a blind follower, and they're just straight Democrats. But, you know, I'll save all of that for another time in another space. I don't want to derail the conversation tonight, but I appreciate everything you guys have taught me, and I do try to apply it to my everyday life when I'm speaking with people.
Okay, well, thank you, sister. I appreciate you coming up here tonight. Original Professor, I know you guys got your hand up, but I got to go ahead and close this thing out for the night. So we'll be back. I'm not sure if we'll be back tomorrow or the night afterwards, because I know my kids got to take them to vacation Bible school and stuff as well too. So, but we'll be back later on this week. Mel, I'm gonna get you later on. We're gonna get ready to close this thing out. So we'll be back later on this week, and we'll holler at you guys. So peace, thank you, and everybody be safe.